laws.
But today, local leaders pushing back, warning it could undo years of reform. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is live on the Hill. Fitz, what's the latest on this?
Well, there was just some action. The floor debate just wrapped up in the House. Now, that is going to set the stage for a vote coming on later this evening. We're talking about these twin pieces of legislation Fox 5 told you about earlier in the week. One would do away with D.C.'s current cashless bail system. Another would upend a slew of police reforms that were put into place by the D.C. Council following those George Floyd protests. Now, the first bill, that would end the D.C. cash bail system. It would replace it with a cash bail system. Essentially, critics say that would tie a person's release to their ability to pay. Now, the second would roll back those police reforms, things like bans on chokeholds, body cam rules, accountability measures that were passed. D.C. Council member Robert White telling Fox 5 tonight he believes this is a violation of the Home Rule Act, and he says Republicans are overreaching.
When you see more kids missing their parents because they're held before they've been convicted, you're going to see crime go up. And when you see less body-worn cameras by police and less restrictions on chokeholds, you're going to see tensions and crime go up. So this is not about helping D.C.
Now, Fitz, you talk to advocates on both sides who see this differently. What are they saying?
Well, they're diametrically opposed, Shamari. Look, you talk to your folks over at the Heritage Foundation who are big advocates of this kind of thing, and they say the Republican march right now to crack down on D.C., to make D.C. an example on what they see as soft on crime laws, in their view, is a situation that set up the crime spike from a couple of years ago. But officials over at the law school, the University District of Columbia, they say, look, if you take what they want to do with cashless bail, they have big questions about whether or not D.C. could actually hold the number of people that would be remaining behind bars because they could not make bail. Also, they said, roughly about, 40% of defendants are held on bail. 60% of them are released because they have a system in D.C. that establishes that they are not flight risks. So they say if you get into a situation, from their viewpoint, that people can't make bail and are held behind bars, that is going to strain an already strained system, Shamar.
Thank you, Fitz.
Well, the Justice Department hit another hurdle in its case against former FBI Director James Comey. Today, interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, admitting in court today that the grand jury never saw the final indictment before it was handed up to a magistrate judge. One former federal judge saying that's a serious problem.
So that is a procedural error, and it is significant because a grand jury should vote on the indictment that is then given to the judge, and that didn't happen here. So as I understand it, that's one of many errors that happened with this grand jury.
Today, the judge called for additional briefing on the validity of the indictment given this new information.
Tonight, a bill requiring the Justice Department to publicly release all files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is waiting for President Trump's signature. It comes after the legislation received overwhelming bipartisan support from lawmakers on both sides of Capitol Hill yesterday, despite some deep divisions along the way. The president has indicated he'll sign it after reversing his earlier opposition. The bill orders the release within 30 days of all Epstein-related files, including communications and details from the investigation into his death in prison. In the meantime, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers resigning from the board of OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. His resignation today comes after emails between him and Epstein were released last week, revealing a chummy relationship between the two.
President Trump speaking at the Kennedy Center today during an investment summit with Saudi Arabia. He announced that the U.S. will designate Saudi Arabia a major non-NATO ally and launch a defense and economic partnership with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Now, this follows yesterday's meeting between Trump and the Crown Prince, who said that he would invest $1 trillion in the U.S. instead of the $600 billion that he previously pledged when Trump visited the kingdom back in May.
The U.S. trade deficit fell by nearly 24% in August as President Trump's global tariffs reduced imports. In a report delayed for more than 7 weeks because of the government shutdown, the stock market holding steady after the news, with the S&P 500 edging up 0.2% after a 4-day losing streak. The Dow barely budged, and the Nasdaq also rose 0.1%.
A vital vote happening any moment. This on key incentives for data centers. Lawmakers across the region now urging electrical grid operators to do more to curb customers' energy bills. And now that group that oversees electricity in our region could accept a proposal to do just that. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis joins us live from Silver Spring this evening with more. Tisha?
And a vote is scheduled to take place in the coming hours. PJM is an electrical grid operator for Maryland, D.C., Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and so many other states. Data centers like the one right here behind me popping up across the area and also reportedly going up. Since data centers started calling these areas home, our customers' energy bills. Now lawmakers are pushing for a proposal that would reportedly offer incentives to the data center companies if they provide their own power source instead of depending on the utility grid. PJM says it welcomes all proposals with the goal to, quote, preserve grid reliability for the 67 million people it serves while managing the integration of data centers and other large electricity users onto the system. Even so, we spoke with a resident concerned about the booming data center development, and he says he is not convinced there's a solution once the data centers are here.
We hear a lot of promises. We hear a lot of things trying to sound like they are mitigating the issue. But I don't see anything official. And actually, the power source is not really the problem.
That was Dumfries resident Michael Slater. Meanwhile, PJM says it's received several different proposals, calling the issue important. Meanwhile, the meeting started around 3:45. The vote, we're told, is scheduled to take place anytime between now and also 6:30. We are going to watch to see what happens and bring you the very latest coming up at 5 and 6.
Thank you, Tisha. D.C. Water making it their mission to develop a second source of drinking water for the city. Today, they launched Pure Water D.C., an initiative to strengthen the region's water supply. D.C. currently relies on the Potomac River as its only water source. Experts say any disruption to that water source would result in a massive economic impact across the region.
We are launching Pure Water DC, which is a collaborative effort to increase the resilience of DC and the region's water supply. It includes a portfolio of solutions, including water recycling and storage opportunities to address this issue of the single source of water.
$21 million has been approved to fund studies and pilot projects over the next 3 years.
Okay, shifting gears, the time of our show where we take a little walk and we talk about the things caught on camera.
Yes.
Even when they're not so nice. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett posting this video on social media of two men going number 2 in his driveway.
Ew. Disgusting.
You can see one of the men doing his business right next to the car. The congressman now asking for help for identifying these people. Yeah, it's the curbside drop-off. Nobody wanted.
Oh, my God.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I mean, I don't know what you hope to accomplish, but whatever side of the team you're on, like, I don't want to be on that side. You know, it's just gross. What's wrong with people?
I'm dumbfounded, flabbergasted.
How people do this on command. It's very bizarre. I don't
right.
know. No.
Right.
And you know what? Yeah, throw the book at them. They don't deserve to be out and like the rest of us, and they have no decorum. Goodbye. That's disgusting.
I'm sure they'll be identified, and man, I wonder how their jobs will see.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get employed.
Yeah, my goodness. All right, take a look at this, everybody. Authorities in Colorado were in for quite the ride after a suspect almost crashes into first responders while trying to get away. The near crash happened after a driver reportedly stole a shuttle bus. The stolen shuttle bus was found abandoned later in the day. You know, we've had cases here in D.C. where people have stolen ambulances. It's like, where do you think you're going to go? Do you think you're not going to get caught and you're in a shuttle bus or, in our case, in an ambulance?
Yeah, no, it's just bad decisions.
Yeah.
A joyride. You know the end is near no matter what, so you just kind of want to go out with a bang. Who knows? But the reality is that you're risking a lot of people's lives.
And speaking of which,
it's foolish. It's
here
foolish.
when we have 270 on the Beltway, make sure that we follow the move over law, because you have people who are working, you have state troopers pulling people over, so just move over and give them plenty of room to do their jobs.
Always a good reminder. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's move on to a hiker in Yellowstone National Park caught on camera making another dangerous decision here, approaching a pack of black wolves off of a trail.
Wow.
When one of them got too close, he sprayed something at them. It's probably bear spray to scare it off. The man and the wolves eventually went their separate ways. The National Park Service saying that they have no reports of wolves attacking tourists, but added this could have ended very badly.
Well, he's in their neighborhood, on their territory, right, Caitlin?
Behaving badly.
Yeah.
We are the worst.
Right, guys?
Leave the animals alone.
Is it just me? But I look at this and I'm like, circle of life. Like, whatever happens, happens.
Survival of the fittest.
I know.
There we go. Have at it.
Animal on their home turf. That's
Have at it.
Exactly.
So,
It's like, get out of my hood. You don't
Well, you
belong
see a
here.
lot of people like get hurt or sometimes killed by wild animals when they don't follow the rules and they approach and they antagonize. And it's like, listen, they're wild animals in these national parks. Just because you go there
and leave
doesn't
them
mean-
alone.
Yeah, you get to
Unbelievable.
mess with them.
Right.
All right, guys, still to come and trending. You probably loved them as a kid, and now they're making a comeback. Why people simply cannot get enough of those advent calendars. But first, hey, Caitlin.
Marina, we got that much-needed rain last night, but we are tracking the chance for our next round of showers as we end the week and head into the weekend. We'll take a look at that. First check of your forecast coming up after the break.
Stay ahead.
Okay, guys, got to get some stuff off our chest.
Let's go.
You need me to read this?
Yeah.
Anyways, a lot more people finding joy in everything, and we need a lot of joy these days, including with advent calendars. According to Google Trends, they're growing more and more popular, especially amongst young adults. The traditional advent calendars are religious, but now everybody's getting in on the action. Brands are now selling advent calendars that contain everything from wines to jams, skincare, pet treats, you name it. And while they're a good boost to sales for the brands, they also generate social media buzz and customer engagement, but they have become all the rage.
Oh, my kids love it. Listen, but we do the chocolate ones.
Yeah.
But I can't do it because they eat like
3 days.
15 of them, by day 3, and I'm like, guys, this is not how it's supposed to work.
Right.
But like the latest one I saw was for like some Korean skincare. I mean, in that window, they put a full-blown like red laser, one of those like face things, you know, mechanisms. I'm like, how big
much
is
does this
this
calendar cost?
I know. It's probably like $300.
Whoa, my
But it's like,
goodness.
Wow,
how
that's a
big
fancy-
is this advent calendar that you're putting this handheld device in there? But you're right. The kids are like, I want it, you know?
We did it here at Fox 5 all these holidays. We do the wine, the cheese, we have the whole meal, the chocolate. It is fun.
And they don't have to cost $300, folks.
No,
Believe
they don't.
that, you know?
I still do the dollar ones. You can get them, I think, at Aldi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trader Joe's, Costco, you name it.
They're fun.
Every brand right now has one, from low budget to high budget, because they're in on the fun, and people, like you said, they don't wait every day.
And there's
Great
a
for
certain
the
level of
kids, too.
nostalgia, right? You know, so for me, like as a parent, I'm like, oh, that is really cute. But you know, I'd stick with buying the ones that have like the 12 pairs of socks. You know, something more useful. They're not as exciting
Angie,
to
the
them.
utilitarian.
I'm trying.
All right.
great.
What time do you eat Thanksgiving dinner? That is a big question that a lot of people always have hot takes to. And it's the usual eating time. Is it earlier? Now Martha Stewart is weighing in, and she says at 2 in the afternoon is the perfect time, because eating earlier means you can watch football, have more drinks, and then there's room later for dessert, maybe even seconds. A lot of people disagreeing, saying 2 is too early. And Martha, you are the queen of everything. But this, my friend, you were absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
2 p.m.
2 is
way
too early.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
People
I
are
feel like
usually
that's what I
cooking.
eat. Yeah.
People are still doing the finishing touches for,
Ours
you know.
at
You do
one.
it 2 p.m.?
I would say, yeah, we start at 1 and
Really?
maybe sit down around 2:30.
What time are y'all cooking?
No,
At 5
we sit
a.m.?
down at 1.
You sit down at 1. Okay, we start with appetizers at 1, but
So
really,
what time do you start cooking, Caitlin?
well, I don't cook, but
Well,
whoever's
neither
cooking.
do I.
Very
But,
early. I mean, like, you know, you put the turkey in the oven for a few hours, but you can make stuff the day before. Like, it's really not that hard to get dinner on the table
that's
by
true.
1 o'clock. But I think the point is, maybe you guys do this, Angie. Like, that is the formal sit down, but then later you kind of go back for a second meal.
Well, but
Okay.
we're up really early too. Like I think it's based on tradition, right? So my husband's always hunting, so he's not back until 10 or 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
But around 8:30 in the morning, I take the kids. We do like this neighborhood like fun run turkey trot, and we always end up at a neighbor's house. And then by then we're kind of hungry and we're ready, and then we meet up at 1 o'clock and we eat wherever we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then we go see a movie or
I
something.
usually go for a walk first because I know that I'm going to need to burn some
What time?
calories.
What time do you eat?
Maybe around 4,
What about
5.
you?
Between 4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
closer to dinner time.
Yeah. And listen, growing up, it was like 7 p.m. So, like, we've made
Yeah.
progress.
I know. I think that's funny.
Exactly.
Some people do treat it like dinner time,
Yeah,
right?
but
like,
you can't go to
wait
bed
all
with that.
day.
Like, it's
No,
just
no,
a
no,
full
no, no.
coma.
Yeah, you get the itis and you're like, oh,
The 4
I'm
p.m. is
tired,
good
I don't
because
feel
then
like
that dinner
moving.
time,
Yeah,
like,
we're not doing
you
that.
can
Not
have like
this year,
another
no
bowl
chuddies.
of like,
Little,
you know,
like
yeah.
start sneaking in the
Yeah.
second round. I know. Either way, it's an eating holiday.
This is
so
good
you
weather
just-
for eating because you just want to stay indoors all
It
day.
is.
It's
Yeah, I
depressing
know.
too, though. I look
That
outside
comfort
and I'm
food.
just like, God, it's awful.
It could be worse though.
At least we got the rain
Yeah.
over with.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's kind of just that cloudy, chilly November weather. But yeah, getting you ready for the holiday next week. So a week from tomorrow. And yes, it's about eating, about gathering. But if you are going to be outside at all, trying to burn off some calories, it's about the weather too. And we will have kind of a sneak peek at that forecast coming up a little bit later on. But in the meantime, just a sliver of sunshine as we're looking at the horizon here from National Harbor. It's been so gray. It's amazing to even see the little bit of clearing that we do have out there. It's only 48 degrees in D.C., winds out of the north at 10 miles an hour, and area temperatures are mostly in the 40s. We've got a few low 50s, but it is a chilly day. Rain came through this morning. It didn't give us much, but it was enough to at least kind of help our parched lawns and grasses and trees out there. Satellite and radar shows the cloud cover overhead. We won't see much change as we go through the rest of the evening. Temperatures sitting in the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies. And then overnight tonight, we're back into the mid to upper 30s, looking at that low 40 degrees, another chilly start to the day tomorrow, and another cloudy one. So high pressure is overhead, but it's pulling in enough of a marine layer from the north and east that despite the fact we won't have any showers, we're once again kind of seeing those clouds hang tough all day long, and that will keep temperatures cool, only in once again the low 50s at the most. Friday into Saturday is our next chance for some showers, so it doesn't really look like we get that sun back until about Sunday. Temperatures look seasonable as we head into the weekend. So clouds are fighting sun. They're winning tomorrow and the next few days. We'll have a look at the full weekend forecast and a peek at next week's travel forecast in my full 7-day. Shamari?
Thank you, Caitlin. Still to come, expanding access to college courses for high school students. The new announcement from a local school district.
Also at 5, the products are recalled, but the cases are still rising. What parents need to know about the botulism outbreak surrounding By Heart.
Welcome back. More Prince George's County students will have access to college courses. Prince George's County Public Schools announcing a major expansion of its dual enrollment program. Now the program offers tuition-free courses in partnership with Prince George's Community College. Students will have access to college credits, saving families thousands in tuition costs.
The opportunity to have them be taught here at school in a familiar environment makes it much more accessible.
Take advantage of it because college, most people don't want to go to college because people are picking up stuff like trades, but it's always good to learn another skill.
College is so expensive. Well, dual enrollment will be offered in every Prince George's County public school by the next school year.
PTA leaders in Montgomery County now trying to pump the brakes on the school's proposed boundary program. The school system says new boundaries are needed to address overcrowding and 2 new high schools that they're seeing. But the PTAs and teachers union, they're frustrated about it. The plan would eliminate a popular lottery for schools and also would leave some schools still overcrowded. PTA leaders are asking families to make their voices heard.
I saw on social media this morning somebody responding to a PTA leader saying, go to this meeting, saying, I wouldn't even know what question to ask. I feel so uninformed. And my thought for that was, you need to then go and say that.
Well, a school spokesperson says the plans have been shaped by community feedback. Public engagement sessions are now going to happen early next month. The superintendent is scheduled to present the new plans early next year.
So you like to speed? Well, listen up. Starting today, the faster you speed in one Maryland city, the more expensive your ticket will be. Bowie is implementing a new tiered fine system for their speed cameras. Drivers caught going 12 or 15 miles over the speed limit will get the usual $40 ticket, right? But above that, tickets start getting more expensive. Drivers going more than 40 miles over the speed limit will get a whopping $425 ticket.
A groundbreaking over in Fairfax County for the next phase of the new West Falls Church neighborhood. The 40-acre area will connect housing, transit, and also open up space at the metro station.
Not only are we building a lot of housing here, we're also building some affordable housing, which is absolutely essential to support our economy. We also know we have environmental challenges and congestion challenges on our roadways, and the more opportunities we have to take people out of their cars and give them opportunities to live in transit-oriented developments.
Well, the project is expected to be completed sometime within the next couple of years. And still to come, more and more parents now struggling to keep up with their kids' lunch costs. The new report from one local school district.
It is so expensive out there. Plus, our Bob Barnard is live in Manassas with more on his story. Bob?
Hey there, Shamari. Following up on the story you reported last night, an assistant volleyball coach charged with sex crimes involving a young player. The new details in the case when Fox 5 at 4 comes right back.
Welcome back. The top stories we're following at 4:30. Montgomery County Police searching for 2 suspects accused of stealing products from a local Ulta beauty store.
So this happened earlier this month at the location on Columbia Pike. This is in Burtonsville. The 2 women wearing dark-colored clothing here allegedly stealing items and leaving that store. If you recognize them, contact authorities.
An Ashburn volunteer fire chief arrested, accused of embezzling station funds. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office arrested 66-year-old William Graham for allegedly stealing $2,000 from the station. Sheriffs were alerted of the incident after Graham made reports allegedly about fraudulent charges on his fire department issued credit card. He has since been released on an unsecured bond.
A Prince George's County high school student charged with bringing a gun to school. Charles Herbert Flowers High School going into lockdown yesterday. This after a 15-year-old allegedly bypassed security and ran upstairs to get a gun. The student ran from the school and was arrested by police. Nobody was hurt.
We're learning new details about the arrest of a Northern Virginia volleyball coach accused of sexual battery involving a 13-year-old girl.
So the alleged victim, who police say was photographed in a compromising position, is a young athlete affiliated with a private volleyball club. Fox 5's Bob Barnard is live in Manassas tonight with an update on this story for us. Hi, Bob.
Hey there, Angie and Shamari. We're told it would be normally busy at this time on a Wednesday after school in this industrial park, but the neighboring businesses are telling us the Manassas Volleyball Club here has been pretty quiet of late. Manassas City Police are telling us Richard Trevor Hill was arrested 2 weeks ago on 3 charges related to an incident with a 13-year-old girl who was part of the Manassas Volleyball Club. The crime allegedly happening inside the club on Friday, September 26th, around 5 p.m. The 33-year-old Hill, known as Trevor, is charged with sexual battery, unlawful creation of an image of another, and taking indecent liberties with a child by a person in a custodial or supervisory relationship. He's been released from jail on an unsecured $10,000 bond. In court documents, a Manassas City police detective writes, the accused would quickly hide the cell phone when the victim would lift her head up to look at the accused or her surroundings. Families connected to the club tell us Trevor Hill had just been certified to train girls in jumping skills. His wife, one of the head coaches at the club. This allegedly happening during a training session between seasons. They say Hill was nice and helpful and that they're shocked by the allegations. In a statement to Fox 5, club director Glenn Martin called Hill an assistant coach, writing in part, law enforcement has requested access to our security footage as part of their investigation. All ties between this individual and Manassas Volleyball Club have been severed. The safety and well-being of our athletes is, and always will be, our highest priority. We're told Hill's wife is also no longer associated with the club. Families say she was a phenomenal coach. Now, we have made efforts to reach Trevor Hill today. None of them have been successful. Manassas City Police tell us their case remains active and open in case any chance there are more victims out there. Guys?
Thank you, Bob. A study shows some Americans are paying more for their children than they do for their rent. According to LendingTree, Baltimore is among the top 5 metro areas where child care costs more than the monthly payment for a 2-bedroom apartment. Washington, D.C. comes at 18th on the list, and experts advise parents to focus more on the cost of their rent because child care costs like daycare are not forever expenses compared to living costs.
Well, right now, Loudoun County schools seeing a surge in free and reduced lunch applications. According to the district, the first few months of the school year resulted in 180% increase, a spike in requests for free lunches, and unpaid meal debt is up more than 50%. Now, despite that, the district wants families to know that no child will go hungry.
Meals are always provided, no matter what their plan is, because we know that students show up to school who had a good breakfast, had a good lunch. They're, much more ready to learn, much more ready to be engaged.
At this point, the district officials saying that it's too early to tell exactly what's causing the spike in free lunch requests and rising debt. Layoffs and the shutdown likely do have a role to play here, but they're using the data and family liaisons to figure out ways that they can help the families now.
Well, some teachers are getting help. It's pretty interesting, too. OpenAI is offering ChatGPT to all Prince William County teachers for free. It's a specialized version of the AI for educators that aims to tailor materials and streamline planning. Teachers will have have access to the program through June of 2027, and the staff will also receive training on the program. OpenAI says the goal is to give teachers more time with students rather than doing paperwork.
Well, still ahead, everybody, you may see a price increase in a grocery store staple, and some authentic shops are taking a big hit ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Plus, a top high school basketball prospect is about to make a life-changing decision. We're exclusively going one-on-one with Baba Olataden before he announces his college pick.
Audi Field could soon see some major upgrades. What's behind the proposal being considered by DC United? We're just getting started. Stay with us.
So unfair.
Foods.com. Hard to believe, but Thanksgiving, just a week away. You might be looking to pick up all the stuff that you need to set the table, to dress that table.
That's right. And Gwen Talbert is at the Brookmont Farmers Market in Bethesda to show us some of the options and what's in demand. Gwen?
You know, this market is always very much a buzz and busy, and it does have a lot going on here. Let's come over here and talk to Ben. He's with the market. Ben, I mean, I've been here before, and I love all the variety that is always offered here. So tell me about some of those options that people have here when it comes to that Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, first, it's so wonderful to have you back time and time again. It's gracious to have you as a guest. Well, I mean, we've got a lot of things here at the Brookmont Farmers Market. We've got produce, of course, so you can prepare all of your side dishes for Thanksgiving, like apples and sweet potatoes.
For that apple pie.
For your apple pie. We've got plenty of prepared dishes as well, hummus, Indian food. And then for your proteins, frozen meats like pork, lamb, beef, and some nice fish.
So if someone decides that turkey's not an option for them,
oh, goodness, there are plenty of things to. Yes, absolutely. The Cold Country fisheries got a bunch of Alaskan fish like halibut and salmon, of course, and then local farms that produce chicken and beef and pork. So if we don't want to do turkey, if it's a little passé, we've got a lot of options. And maybe you don't feel like prepping anything at all, and you can just hit the barbecue truck. There's nothing wrong with that.
can come and just take it home. Well, we're going to come over here now and interrupt Kelly. Kelly has been here shopping for her Thanksgiving dinner, but you told me that you're going to try something a little different, but you're going to test it out first.
Yes, if you're going to have a new recipe, you got to try it out first. So I'm going to make a celeriac casserole with mushrooms. And I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to try a new apple pie recipe, too.
You're getting really adventurous this Thanksgiving. Now, are you having a huge amount of people over?
A huge amount. A huge number of people, yeah.
Okay, so tell me how many people you're coming and what else is on the menu.
It seems huge to me, but it's really only 6. But there's gluten-free and lactose-free, and so it's a challenge, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, well, good luck with that new recipe. And Ben, just tell us quickly, when can people come here?
Wednesdays from 4:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m.
All right, and I want to tell you that next Wednesday they're having a special little promotion right here for Thanksgiving. Back to you.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I know. You want to support local and eat good. So speaking of money and food, pasta from Italy to get more expensive. That's what they're saying. A proposed 107% tariff could soon hit consumers. But some big Italian stores in our region, they say that they are ready. Arlington now reporting that the Italian store, very popular around these parts, says their supplier has enough Italian pasta to make their supply last at current levels until Easter, so the spring. So we're covered till the spring, all right? We got to figure out all these, the tariff stuff.
Right, but then we could see possible increased prices at Italian restaurants. Who knows? All right.
Possible.
Still to come, uncovering American history right here in the DMV. Our Jennifer Delgado is in Prince George's County in this week's edition of America 250 in your hometown.
But first, we do want to get a check of what's going on outside with none other than Caitlin.
Yeah, Angie, you know, already it feels like the run up to Thanksgiving week. We are still, of course, a week out, but, you know, looking at the weather, it's cloudy, it's chilly, it's very November-like, but it's also pretty problem-free. We'll take a look at that full 7-day coming up after the break.
Well, one of the top high school basketball stars in our area is expected to announce where he is heading to college. Blake High School's Baba Oladotun, did I say that right, Shamari?
Yeah.
Oladotun is ranked the 8th best recruit in the entire country. Before his announcement, Baba spoke with Chad Ricardo on what this moment means to him.
How excited are you for this moment?
I'm feeling like nervous, excited right now. God, He just blessed me with the talents to just be so good to get the opportunity to play at the collegiate level. Yeah. So I'm just excited, looking forward to what's to come.
Okay, so he's narrowed down his choices to 4 schools. We got Arkansas, Kentucky, Maryland, yes, and Georgetown. Stay close, stay here, stay home. I know his mama wants him to. Chad Ricardo is going to have a lot more with Baba on his journey coming up at 5.
Gotta love Angie. All right, men's soccer team DC United is reportedly looking to explore a plan to add a roof and more seats to Audi Field, according to the Washington Business Journal. The continued talks come as MLS's upcoming calendar change in 2027 that will shift the league's play schedule to July through April, with a winter break from mid-December through early or mid-February. Though the schedule shift is driving stadium upgrade considerations for teams that play in colder climates. Okay.
I feel like everybody's getting an upgrade these days, right?
We are continuing coverage of America's 250th in your hometown.
That's right. And this week, our Jen Delgado is out in Prince George's County with a look at how they're celebrating this big occasion. Good to see you again, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hi there. Yeah, you know what? I am so excited to be out here at the College Park Aviation Museum. I didn't know anything about it, but I tell you what, there's so much history, and it all started right here. Now, behind me, this is the plane. This is a replica of the plane that the Wright brothers used when they were training pilots. What you're looking at, some of the wires there, those are actually bike wires. Look at the luxury seats that you have there. Well, you didn't need that in an upgrade in a first class, but if you come out here at the College Park Museum, you're going to find out a lot of history about aviation. And joining me right now, we have John McCaskill. And John, you are an aviation nut. You are out here at the museum, and there's just so much to see. Behind me, this is a bomber that went out to World War I, right?
Yeah, this plane, this Curtis Jenny, actually helped pilots, American pilots, during World War I. Didn't have the performance of a fighter, but it did serve as a trainer.
And it took the mail for the loved ones, and that's important.
Airmail started here in 1919, and so this is the aircraft, the type of aircraft that was taking the mail.
Right. And, you know, aviation is so important here in Prince George's County. Like you said, this is the oldest one, right?
This is the oldest continuously operating airport in the world.
Right. And so when we come out here, we see the airport, the College Park Airport. We see planes landing here. Sure. And then we come over here and we look at all this history, African Americans, Latinas, and Prince George's County. I mean, so much history there. And then this plane up there, one that went to the North Pole. Tell us more about that.
So that aircraft was the aircraft that Army pilots were using in World War II. They had 3 phases of training. Your primary training would be in that Stearman. Well, after the war, there was a surplus. There was a pilot by the name of Gus McLeod who purchased that, and he ended up being the first African-American to fly to the North Pole.
I mean, and that is not a closed aviation cabin there.
It is open.
Yeah, I guess his name kind of led him to the clouds and to go up there to hit the sky. And then, you know, here in parts of Prince George's County, we talk about Lakeland. It really is important because tell us the story about how it all started here very quickly in 1909 that led to this airport.
So the Wrights, when they started flying in 1903, wanted to share their invention with the United States Army. Army's like, hey, great, but it's not going to take off. They went over to Europe. It took off over there. And by 1908, the Army was like, hey, we think we're interested. So they were flying in Fort Myer, which is right outside of Arlington National Cemetery. Orville had crashed. He was riding with, or who was riding with him, Lieutenant Thomas Selfridge. Right. Thomas Selfridge died the next day. But
they took a balloon?
Well, so they had to find a place. And so they took a balloon, they went in the air, and they found a place that was near railroad and all that stuff, and they ended up here.
Right here. And that's how they ended up here in College Park. Thank you so much. And, of course, history lesson. Come on out here. They're open Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Monday. Great story out here.
All right, thank you, Jen. Here's a live look outside from our Fox 5 Skycam in Reston.
Yeah, and we want to head on over to Caitlin because,
Look at the full forecast.
We got
there.
done real fast, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Rapid changes in the 4 o'clock hour. What's ahead?
I know, and it's like blink it and you miss the daylight these days as we're seeing that sun already going down, and we just keep getting shorter and shorter in terms of daylight amount as we approach the winter solstice, still about a month away. But it's been pretty gray this week. It's going to stay that way as the clouds will really hang tough into your Thursday. No showers yet, but it's an overcast day. Rain is back in the forecast late Friday. It looks like we'll get another wave of it overnight Friday into early Saturday. Very similar to what we had last night into this morning. So probably lingering for the first half of the weekend, but it does look better by late in the day, and then Sunday definitely shows some improvement, although Sunday might be our first day with sunshine, to be honest, as it does look pretty cloudy. 50 degrees was the high again today, 7 degrees below normal, and we started the morning at 43. Overnight, we picked up just over 1/10 of an inch of rain. It's been a dry November so far, as we're firmly in the second half of the month, and this fall has been dry. You've seen how the drought has gotten worse. We had that high fire danger over the weekend and into Monday. So we're really still kind of struggling to get a decent amount of rainfall around here. Every little bit helps, though. So the watering we got last night was beneficial, and what we will get over the weekend will be as well. Temperatures are in the 40s, 48 here in D.C., and satellite and radar not really showing much, but there is, of course, that cloud deck overhead. Otherwise, it's very quiet. No rain really coming in anytime soon. 40 degrees for that overnight low under mostly cloudy skies tonight. So the next couple of days, we stay dry for your Thursday. Still very cool, 52. And on Friday, same thing. It's cloudy, it's cool, high of 58. We'll wait for late in the day those showers to come in. Looking at future casts, that first wave on Friday morning looks to stay south of us. This is 10:30. You see some rain over Richmond. But then later on in the afternoon and evening, we get some showers in here around dinner time. That kind of ramps up into the overnight period. And this may only bring 1/10 of an inch or two to the region. But again, we'll take whatever we can get. Notice by about noon, you still have some lingering moisture overhead on Saturday. So if this holds, we're probably in for a dreary day that might just get better in kind of the last hours of the afternoon. Jumping ahead, pre-Thanksgiving travel. So we're talking Tuesday, Wednesday into Thanksgiving Day itself. It does look to be a storm system tracking across the country, and there will be impacts for the whole eastern half. Probably the greatest maybe over parts of the Great Lakes. So Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, St. Louis, places like that. It does look to be just rain, but there is cold air coming in on the backside of it. So the I-95 cities, there's probably some showers around in spots Tuesday and Wednesday. Thanksgiving Day does look dry and seasonably cool. You're seeing high temperatures right around 50. So that would be a little chilly, but nothing too abnormal for this time of year. Look at the Midwest. Rain will definitely be an issue. St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit on Tuesday, and then so cold there by Thursday. I mean, only 34 in Detroit, 33 in Chicago. As we go to the south, they're also looking at not just showers, but a few thunderstorms on Tuesday, and everything looks great as you head to the west coast. They shouldn't have as much active weather. Our 7-day shows, second half of the weekend looks nice. Good start to the week on Monday. We'll continue to watch those showers as we approach the holiday. Angie, back over to you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, we got a big update for you from TMZ. Singer David viewed as a suspect in the death of Celeste Rivas. This is the teenager whose body was found decomposing inside of his Tesla in a junkyard. TMZ's been following the story from the beginning. Branson Quirk joining us live. Branson, I think we've talked about this before. I think we've also scratched our heads a lot about this before. And now, even with this news coming out, which I think many of us thought was going to happen, they're saying viewed. They're stopping short of even naming him as a suspect, but people are saying this is the case. So what do you know? What have you guys figured out?
Right. Well, I mean, there's so many more questions than answers here with this case. But we spoke to law enforcement sources, and they tell us that in the investigation, that David is being looked at as a suspect. There's not any paperwork or any documentation with that on paper that we are aware of at this very moment. But this source does tell us that they even had gone as far as to reveal that the investigation in this is that they also found that David had gone out around midnight back in spring to Santa Barbara for an unclear reason why, and spent several hours out there. And that's also a part of this investigation. So there's a lot of questions here, not enough answers, but we do know that they are viewing this as a homicide, despite there being no cause of death just yet. We know that the toxicology reports are pending at this very moment. Sometimes those can take weeks or up to 2 months. So it's really just a waiting game right now. But no, it's encouraging to see that they are moving forward with this.
Okay, so we have a little bit of an update, I guess, so to speak, and we are waiting more to see if there's any admissible evidence, right, that they can, fully, that's maybe what they're waiting on. So, okay, we'll still have faith, even though this just seems like it's been botched from the beginning. All right, my opinion only. Right. Branson, thanks so much, and we'll chat with you later. You can catch more TMZ, of course, right here on Fox 5 at 7:30, right after Like It or Not.
All right, this is really interesting. Man, wait till you see this video. Still to come, a Virginia farm breaks a world record. Details on the world's largest peach. This thing is huge.
All right. And then at 5, a veteran FBI employee now suing the department. It's all over an old desk display. We'll get into it. Well, the home of the world's heaviest peach is not in Georgia, but right here in Virginia. In September, Guinness certified that Childs Peach Orchard in Crozet. And fifth-generation farmer Henry Childs had grown a peach weighing in at 1.83 pounds, 6 inches tall, making it larger than a softball.
Wow, fifth generation. I'm sure his ancestors are proud.
Yeah.
Right?
Peach proud.
All right, your News at 5 with Jim and Marina starts right now.
Tonight at 5, Congress hours away from voting on 2 major bills that could reshape D.C.'s criminal justice system and strip local leaders of key authority.
The Pentagon quietly releasing new data showing it wasn't just January's crash near Reagan National. Deadly crashes are surging nationwide.
Plus, a Manassas volleyball coach is off the court and facing multiple charges. What we're learning from new court documents as police search for victims.
And after years of warning, D.C. is investing millions to go on the Potomac and find a second water source.
But off the top tonight, a critical vote teeing up tonight on the Hill could crack down on how the district enforces local crime and justice. GOP lawmakers holding votes on 2 bills, both aimed at changing bail and police reforms in the nation's capital.
That's a big story right now at 5 o'clock. Tom Fitzgerald's live on the Hill tonight. They took some action on this. What's this about?
Jim, good evening. Tonight, these bills are marching forward. Debate on the House floor wrapped up just a short time ago. This is all part of House Republicans' effort to put pressure on local D.C. officials over their criminal justice and policing policies. One of these bills would do away with the cash bail system in D.C. The other would repeal a lot of the police reforms that went into effect after the George Floyd protest. Now, the one bill would not only eliminate D.C.'s cashless bail system, it would instill cash bail in the district, meaning it would tie together somebody's ability to get released based upon their ability to pay their bail. Likewise, these police reforms that went into effect after those George Floyd protests, a lot of them dealing with things like police pursuits, chokeholds, body cameras. Republicans say that has actually limited D.C.'s police ability to fight crime and in large part, in their view, contributed to the crime spike several years ago.
This is a smart and long overdue reform that rectifies the ill-conceived policies currently enacted in the district. I urge all of my colleagues to support this common sense public safety bill.
My colleague talked about this being common sense legislation, but the D.C. bill is patterned on the federal Bail Reform Act. And I note that there's no effort to amend that here or change it in the way that's been proposed.
This week, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser calling these bills an affront to home rule. Now, as you might expect, advocates on both sides of this debate see these arguments dramatically differently. Some advocates say that eliminating the cash bail system would return to a system that was unfair for many people who did not have the financial means to get themselves out of jail. Likewise, other people say that the policing in this city had been adversely affected because all of the controls that have been put on them by local officials.
They are so out to lunch and living pie in the sky. And so, no, this is not about repealing home rule. It's repealing stupidity.
If you were a rich person and you got arrested and you could pay, you bought your freedom. And if you were a poor person and you got arrested, you sat in jail for weeks, months, sometimes years.
All right, so where do we stand right now? Shortly after 5 p.m., the House is in recess currently after that floor debate you just saw. We are expecting the first votes on this to come down tonight, shortly after 8 p.m. We're live on the Hill tonight. Send it back into you.
Fitz, thanks. More National Guard troops coming to D.C., this time by way of the state of Indiana. The state sending 300 National Guard members to D.C. starting next month. They will come here to relieve out-of-state troops who have been deployed to D.C. from states like West Virginia, Ohio, and South Carolina. About 1,300 out-of-state guardsmen on top of nearly 1,000 members of the D.C. National Guard are currently patrolling the nation's capital. A veteran FBI employee is suing the DOJ after he was fired for displaying a pride flag at his workstation. David Maltinsky had 16 years with the Bureau. He was nearly finished with special agent training at Quantico when he was abruptly terminated. The lawsuit claims the firing violates his First Amendment rights and seeks reinstatement.
And tonight, a bill requiring the Justice Department to publicly release all files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, waiting for President Trump's signature. It comes after the legislation received overwhelming bipartisan support from lawmakers in both chambers yesterday. And despite some deep divisions along the way, the president, who is mentioned in the documents, has indicated he will sign it after reversing his earlier opposition. The bill now orders all files, including communications and details on Epstein's prison death investigation, within 30 days. Meantime, Harvard is reopening its investigation into former university president and former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. It comes after new emails show he kept up a friendly relationship with Jeffrey Epstein long after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. The university says it is now reviewing every Harvard name in those newly released Epstein documents to decide whether disciplinary action is needed. Already, Summers has started stepping back from public roles, including resigning from the OpenAI board yesterday, and Harvard's earlier review finding that Epstein visited campus more than 40 times following his conviction.
All right, turning to the weather right now as we go outside. Our Fox 5 Skycam fired up over the wharf tonight and giving you a look out there at a nice sunset across the region.
Yeah, this is definitely one you want to see. Maybe looks, at least to me, Mike, like clouds are clearing after the rainy start today.
Right, finally a little bit of clearing. Now we'll fight the clouds tomorrow, but late day sunshine providing that beautiful picturesque sunset across the D.C. area. All of our sky cams showing those beautiful colors tonight after what was a more gray leaning afternoon, right? Chilly day, 50 degrees, 7 degrees below the seasonal average. And yeah, we picked up enough rain to more than double what we had gotten through the month so far, almost half an inch for November. Now we're still well below normal, though we have a few more rain chances to go here before the end of the week ahead. Outside right now, there is National Harbor and that beautiful orange glow in the background. Clouds clearing just in time for sunset here. 47 at Reagan National, Dulles at 44. BWI Thurgood Marshall sitting at 46 degrees. Not much happening on satellite and radar. Now there are more clouds out there. Mentioned tomorrow, clouds are going to come back a bit. We're going to fight with clouds mixing with sunshine. You can kind of see across the Midwest some of that scattered cloud cover. That will sneak on in here as we head through the day on Thursday. So forecast tonight, partly clear here, 40 degrees. It'll be another chilly to downright cold night with a lot of suburbs headed back into those 30s during the overnight hours. For tomorrow, high temperatures jumping back into the lower 50s here in D.C. 52 for a high. Annapolis 48, Gaithersburg 49, Martinsburg about 48. As mentioned, we'll fight cloud cover in the afternoon. Rain chances return as we head into Friday and the upcoming weekend. We'll show you how that could impact it. All coming your way in just a few more minutes. Jim?
All right, Mike, thanks. Now to a Fox 5 News alert right now. A big blow for a proposal that would have offered key incentives for data centers.
It comes as lawmakers across the region are urging electrical grid operators to do more to curb customers' energy bills. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis joining us live from Silver Spring on what was decided in the last hour. Tisha?
The proposal overwhelmingly failed by more than double. That's the latest coming in. Meanwhile, PMJ, that's the electrical grid provider for several states, including Virginia and Maryland, and also the District of Columbia, plus West Virginia and Pennsylvania, and many more states. They are the electrical grid operator that is at the center of all of this. Now, these data centers, like the one that you see right here behind me, are popping up across the DMV and really nationwide. Also reportedly going up since data centers started calling these areas home are customers' energy bills. But here's the vote.
3D has also failed with 1.904 in favor. And I should have mentioned the threshold is 3.335 for the members committee. Count yes was 31. The count for no was 67.
The proposal would have reportedly offered incentives to the data center companies if they provide their own power source instead of depending on the utility grid. That failed. Now it's back to the drawing board. PJM says its goal is to, quote, preserve grid reliability for the 67 million people it serves while managing the integration of data centers and other large electricity users onto the system. Even so, we spoke with a resident concerned about the booming data center development, and he says he's not convinced there's a solution once the data centers are here.
We hear a lot of promises. We hear a lot of things trying to sound like they are mitigating the issue. But I don't see anything official. And actually, the power source is not really the problem.
there was a lot of information, I think, in these votes. So we're going to study them closely, votes by sector, by member, and try to think about just all of the great input that we have received today.
PJM says it received several different proposals, calling the issue important. Just moments ago, PJM told Fox 5 they will be issuing a statement shortly. Meanwhile, the group plans to go through all of the data and information and decide its next steps.
Starting today, the more you speed in Bowie, the more expensive your ticket will be. Under the city's new tiered fine system, drivers caught going up to 15 miles over the speed limit will get the usual $40 fine. But beyond that, tickets start getting more expensive. Drivers going more than 40 miles over the speed limit will have to pay $420.
Fox 5 tracking Metro with WMATA breaking ground today on the next phase of the new West Falls neighborhood transit-oriented development project. It happened this morning along Haycock Road in Falls Church. The 40-acre area will connect housing, transit, and open space at the West Falls Church Metro Station.
Not only are we building a lot of housing here, we're also building some affordable housing, which is absolutely essential to support our economy. We also know we have environmental challenges and congestion challenges on our roadways, and the more opportunities we have to take people out of their cars and give them opportunities to live in transit-oriented developments.
The project, part of Metro's push to add more mixed-use development near Metro rail stations, is expected to take about 2 years.
Less than a week after Washington Commanders unveiled HKS as the lead architect for their planned stadium at the RFK site, D.C. officials turning to residents for input. A community meeting tonight hopes to get ideas and concerns from neighbors who will be directly affected by the project and the broader development of the RFK campus. The meeting starts at 6:30 at the St. Clement of Greater Washington in Southeast.
All right, so to come here at 5, a dramatic rise of requests for school lunch programs, and that has some districts taking notice.
Plus, with a deadly DCA crash still under investigation, new data showing military aircraft mishaps are on the rise. What's behind the spike? But first, Chief Legal Correspondent Katie Barlow.
A federal judge now questioning the validity of former FBI Director Jim Comey's indictment after learning the grand jury may not have seen a crucial document. We'll be back right after this.
New details coming to light in court today about the federal case against former FBI Director James Comey.
The Virginia grand jury that indicted him never saw the final indictment before it was presented to a judge. Fox 5's chief legal correspondent and host of In the Courts, Katie Barlow's here to break it down for us, because I knew when I saw this today, if somebody was going to make sense of it, it was going to be Katie Barlow.
We're going to do our best to make sense of it, but first let's start with what today's hearing was about, which is something we've been talking about In the Courts. It's about a motion to toss the case for vindictive prosecution. Now, Comey's team is arguing that Trump ordered DOJ to prosecute Comey because of personal spite and because Comey has been a vocal critic of the president in the past, and that's in part from this Truth Social post from Trump calling Comey guilty as hell and asking Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after him, and also name-checking Lindsay Halligan, the current interim U.S. attorney who presented the Comey case to the grand jury and was the sole signatory on the indictment. Now, during today's hearing, we learned that the entire grand jury never saw the two-count indictment that was handed up to the magistrate judge to sign the arrest warrant.
Okay, so there were three possible charges that Halligan went to the grand jury with here. They voted down one of them. They kept two. But so why does it matter if they never saw the final indictment?
So the grand jury is the body that hands over the indictment. They are the indicting body. So it makes sense, and they should see the indictment before it goes up to the judge. And all of this is part and parcel of the rules we have kind of to protect innocent people until they're convicted. We have these rules for a reason.
The grand jury process is a one-sided presentation, so it has to be fair because the defense is not present and the defendant doesn't have the right to call any witnesses or present two sides of the story. So traditionally, it's very important that prosecutors adhere to a standard of procedural fairness, and it is unfair to give a slant that changes things. So to not let the grand jury see the actual indictment that's going to be handed up is a problem.
All right, so what happens now? Say in the theory that a grand jury declines to indict. What's the process look like then?
So if a grand jury declines to indict on a single charge, like in this case, typically there's a prosecutor in the room who's a line attorney, an AUSA. It's not usually Lindsay Halligan or the acting U.S. attorney, the actual U.S. attorney. And so there are supervisors involved. Just like every job that we all have, there are supervisors involved. And so that line prosecutor, when they get a no vote, a no true bill from the U.S. or from the grand jury, they have to go back to their supervisor and check in and say, all right, what do we do here? What's our game plan? Are we going to continue to push this? And sometimes the supervisor doubles down and says, yes, go back. Here's the information we have. Let's get the indictment going. Or the supervisor says, nope, we don't have the goods here. We need to recalibrate what the plan of attack is. Because it was Lindsay Halligan in this case, she seems to be the sole decision maker. She was the sole signatory on the indictment. She didn't have a supervisor to check back in with, and she made the decision to go forward here. And that might be a fatal flaw in the indictment. The judge is going to ask for some more briefing on the issue, but it could be invalid.
Lindsay Halligan has never prosecuted a criminal case.
Correct.
And this is what we're watching as this play out here.
Her first time in the grand jury room, it seems.
All right.
All right,
watch
Katie.
this. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Let's move on. Internal Pentagon data shows military aircraft crashes spiking across all branches of the service. The report comes less than a year after that catastrophic mid-air collision near DCA when that Army Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger jet crashed into the Potomac, killing 67 people. Lawmakers citing a 55% spike in Class 8 crashes since 2020. One answers about training, maintenance, and high-risk aircraft like the Osprey.
And some TSA officers say they still haven't received their paychecks despite the government shutdown ending nearly a week ago. Now lawmakers have introduced new legislation that would allow air traffic controllers to get paid during future shutdowns. The bipartisan bill proposing funding salaries, operating expenses, and other FAA programs by tapping into a $2.6 billion fund.
I need Congress to take action. If there is another shutdown, I want to make sure air traffic controllers get paid. I think that would go a long way for both Republicans and Democrats to take this off the table.
Transportation Committee staffers estimate the bill would provide enough funding to keep FAA operating for 4 to 6 weeks.
All right, let's get back to weather right now. Of course, we start seeing more and more, less and less daylight, more and more dark at this hour.
Yeah, we just all have to keep our eyes on the calendar. December 21st is what I keep saying around here.
Right, that's the shortest daylight day of the year, though. Some good news in the sunset department. We're getting closer. December 4th to 7th is our earliest sunset. We actually start adding daylight back on the sunset side before we start getting it back on the sunrise side. So for a little while, we'll lose more on the sunrise side versus what we'll lose on the sunset side. So we're almost to the earliest sunsets of the year. Again, December 4th to 7th, so just a couple of weeks away now as we look outside. That last of the light dimming on the horizon, just clouds parting just enough to allow some of that sunset glow there on Earth Cam. Plenty of traffic to light up the skies, though, no doubt about that. A lot of highways jammed right now across D.C. heading down into Virginia. 47, your current temperature. Chilly, seasonably so, not terrible out there. Winds out of the northwest, 14. That'll make things feel a little cooler, feeling like the 30s in some locations, even though temperatures widespread 40s at this hour. Dallas 44, Manassas 45, Leonardtown, Fredericksburg, and Culpeper all checking in at 47, Westminster 43, Hagerstown 42. Big picture showing you, that warmth, though, it's so close, well, relatively speaking, right? Knoxville 72, even Raleigh at 66 right now. I'd love to say that's visiting us tomorrow. Not really. In fact, the fact that the warmth is just right there to our south actually is going to be part of the setup for a cloudier day tomorrow here in D.C., or a day with very limited sunshine. Overnight lows back into the 30s, north and west, 36 Dulles as well as Manassas, out towards Quantico, 39, Gaithersburg, 35, Frederick, Maryland, 31, Hagerstown, 32, D.C. down to about 40 tonight. Same deal with you down in Leonardtown. Now, not tracking anything other than clouds tonight after tracking rain last night. Just cloud cover this evening, and down to the south with that stalled boundary. That's the dividing line between that warmth and humidity, actually, down across the southeast, and the cool, dry air that we have in place here in town. And since that boundary is so close, high pressure to the north, essentially stopping that from coming north. However, this is keeping dry air entrenched at the surface. It's trying to pull in some moisture aloft. That's what gives us a lot of cloud cover tomorrow. So unfortunately, limited sunshine for your day on Thursday. Good news is we expect it to be a dry day with no rain expected until we get closer to Friday. So there's your futurecast. You see peaks of sunshine here and there, but a lot of cloud cover overhead. We get into the day on Friday. Much of it starts off on the dry side. As we get deeper and deeper into the day, chance of showers returns primarily during the late afternoon and evening hours through the overnight and into Saturday morning. Could keep some rain showers around as well. We don't think it'll spoil the weekend, but might need the umbrellas to start the day on Saturday. 52 for your Thursday, up to 58 on Friday, but don't let that temperature jump for you too much with the cloud cover and the shower chances. It's still going to feel pretty cool. Guys?
Mike, thank you. Still ahead for students in one local county. College-level coursework will start right before high school graduation.
Plus, what happens to your tap if something happens in the Potomac? We're going to tell you how the city's working to change that when we come back. DC Water launching a push to develop a second source of drinking water for the district. Today it launched what it's calling Pure Water DC to expand the supply beyond the Potomac and avoid devastating health and economic impacts.
We are launching Pure Water DC, which is a collaborative effort to increase the resilience of DC and the region's water supply. It includes a portfolio of solutions, including water recycling and storage opportunities to address this issue of the single source of water.
$21 million has been approved to fund studies and pilot projects over the next 3 years. Meanwhile, if you need help getting food this holiday season, there is a new push to help DC families in need. Produce Plus and Healthy Corners are some of the programs offering fresh, healthy food for eligible residents. The programs are supported by nearly $2 million in city investments.
Prince George's County Public Schools announcing a major expansion of its dual enrollment program, offering tuition-free courses in partnership with Prince George's County Community College. Students will have access to college credits, saving families thousands in tuition.
I had concerns about is academically, how am I going to be able to get there? Where am I going to be able to get my stuff? Worrying about the future. Dual enrollment has really helped out a lot with that, and the benefits of dual enrollment is really amazing.
In the following years, every Prince George's County public high school will offer dual enrollment. Thomas Jefferson High School in Fairfax County topping the list of Northern Virginia Magazine's top 25 high schools. Meridian High and Falls Church and Loudoun County's Freedom High School rounding out the top 3. The magazine based its rankings on data from the Virginia Department of Education. Diploma and graduation rates along with chronic absentee rates were some of the key factors that contributed to the rankings.
Still ahead, college basketball's top prospect calls our region home, and he's speaking only with Fox 5 before his big decision tonight.
And one district tracking a rise in requests for school lunches. What's behind the spike? But first, Bob Barnard in Manassas.
An assistant volleyball coach here in Northern Virginia charged with sex crimes involving a young player. The new details in this case when Fox 5 comes right back.
We're back now with new details about the arrest of a Northern Virginia volleyball coach accused of sexual battery involving a 13-year-old girl.
The alleged victim, who police say was photographed in a compromising position, a young athlete affiliated with a private volleyball club. Fox 5's Bob Barnard in Manassas with the latest tonight.
We're told it would normally be busy at this time on a Wednesday after school in this industrial park, but the neighboring businesses tell us the Manassas Volleyball Club has been fairly quiet of late. Manassas City Police are telling us Richard Trevor Hill was arrested 2 weeks ago on 3 charges related to an incident with a 13-year-old girl who was part of the Manassas Volleyball Club. The crime allegedly happening inside the club on Friday, September 26th, around 5 p.m. The 33-year-old Hill, known as Trevor, is charged with sexual battery, unlawful creation of an image of another, and taking indecent liberties with a child by a person in a custodial or supervisory relationship. He's been released from jail on an unsecured $10,000 bond. In court documents, a Manassas City police detective writes, the accused would quickly hide the cell phone when the victim would lift her head up to look at the accused or her surroundings. Families connected to the club tell us Trevor Hill had just been certified to train girls in jumping skills. His wife, one of the head coaches at the club. This allegedly happening during a training session between seasons. They say Hill was nice and helpful and that they're shocked by the allegations. In a statement to Fox 5, club director Glenn Martin called Hill an assistant coach, writing in part, law enforcement has requested access to our security footage as part of their investigation. All ties between this individual and Manassas Volleyball Club have been severed. The safety and well-being of our athletes is, and always will be, our highest priority. We're told Hill's wife is also no longer associated with the club. Families say she was a phenomenal coach. We've made a number of efforts to reach Trevor Hill today, but all have been unsuccessful. Meanwhile, Manassas City Police tell us their investigation of this case remains open in case any other victims come forward.
An Ashburn volunteer fire chief arrested accused of embezzling station funds. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office arresting 66-year-old William Graham for allegedly stealing $2,000 from the station. The sheriff's alerted after Graham made reports about fraudulent charges on his fire department issued credit card. He has since been released on an unsecured bond.
PTA leaders in Montgomery County are trying to pump the brakes on the school's proposed boundary program. The school system argues new boundaries are needed to address overcrowding, but the PTA and teachers union are frustrated because the plan would eliminate a lottery for schools and, according to them, still leave some schools overcrowded. Public engagement sessions expected early next month.
And right now, some school districts around the DMV grappling with a surge in free and reduced lunch applications.
And in one Northern Virginia county, requests for financial help are up 180%. Homa Bash is here in studio to explain more. Hi, Homa.
Hey, guys. Good evening. The overall message here that I got from schools in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia is that they're going to make sure no kid is sitting in class hungry. But for some, the number of requests they're getting for free and reduced lunch programs seems to have spiked this school year. Let's go first to Loudoun County schools, where there has been a 180% increase in requests for free lunches so far this year, August to November. And unpaid meal debt is up more than 50%. For context, school lunch there cost $3.55. And last school year, about 26% of LCPS students were part of the free and reduced lunch plan. District officials tell me it is too early to pinpoint what is causing the surge in applications. Layoffs, furloughs, government shutdown, all of that could play a role. But what is key is figuring out what to do with the data.
It's that red flag that's like, hey, hold on, we got something going on. What is it that we need to do? How can we help our families? We're really going to lean into our family liaisons right now, who have a lot of direct contact with those families that a lot of times need those extra supports, and saying, you know, what are we seeing? What are they experiencing? How can we help?
And one thing to note is that Loudoun County does have a lot of help from local nonprofits to help bridge the gap for families who may need it. From discreet Amazon deliveries of groceries to your front door to roundups at giant grocery stores that help clear that unpaid meal debt. In Prince George's County, more than 60% of students are getting free and reduced meals this school year, compared to 56.5% last year. PG schools attributing the jump to furloughed workers needing help for their kids. Fairfax County telling me the number of kids taking part in free and reduced lunch in the district right now, roughly the same as it was last year, about 36.5% of students. In D.C., 77% of students get free lunches. Everyone gets free breakfast. Right now, outstanding meal debt is at about $70,000 for the first 3 months of this school year, compared to $30,000 for the same time last year. Regardless, though, of a child's ability to pay, they will get that meal no matter what. Guys.
That is what is important. Thank you, Homa. Still ahead. First Gaza, now Ukraine and Russia could see the world's next ceasefire deal.
Plus, a major move on Capitol Hill that could finally ban lawmakers from trading stocks. So what's that all about? We have more after the break.
The Trump administration secretly working with Russia on a new 28-point plan to end the war in Ukraine. U.S. and Russian officials telling Axios the proposal aims to build on President Trump's recent Gaza deal and could reset security arrangements across Europe. The White House has begun quietly briefing Ukrainian and European leaders, even as key details like territorial control remain unclear.
President Trump speaking at the Kennedy Center today during an investment summit with Saudi Arabia. He says the U.S. will designate Saudi Arabia a major non-NATO ally and launch a defense and economic partnership with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. This follows yesterday's meeting between Trump and the Crown Prince, whom he claims will invest $1 trillion in the U.S. instead of the $600 billion he previously pledged when Trump visited the kingdom in May. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say stock trading in Congress is out of control. A congressional committee debating whether it's time to ban Congress and close relatives from trading stocks. The goal to avoid any appearance from profiting off inside information. There have been efforts to ban stock trading in Congress before, including one backed by now Virginia Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger, but none have passed.
When the stock portfolios of members of Congress regularly beat the S&P 500 and members leave the office with vastly higher net worths than when they arrived, the public is right to be alarmed.
Members of Congress unequivocally have access to inside information. We do.
The new bill would fine violators for 10% of their investments and forfeit all earnings. The bill's backers hope to force a vote to the floor.
All right, still ahead from State College to Blacksburg, Virginia Tech's new football coach finally here, and he has a message for Hokie fans.
And all new at 6, a trending wellness treatment meant to help people who feel stressed, but it's also helping some local farmers. First, here's Caitlin.
And Jim, a gray day out there. No rain, but we are tracking our next chance of showers coming up towards the end of the week. Plus, peek at the weekend and already talking Thanksgiving travel. We'll have your full 7-day after the break.
In today's college football, there needs to be alignment. There's no other way to do it. That is from the rector to the president to the athletic director to the head football coach and most importantly, the fans and alumni.
James Franklin formally introduces Virginia Tech's new head football coach, taking over a team struggling at 3-7 this season. Franklin spent 12 seasons at Penn State, going up 104-45, winning a Big Ten title and making one college football playoff semifinal, but struggled against elite teams. He was fired mid-season. Franklin had received a $40 million buyout from Penn State before joining the Hokies. Virginia Tech, by the way, faces the 8-2 Miami Hurricanes this Saturday at noon.
And one of the top high school basketball stars in the region expected to announce where he's heading to college.
We're talking about Blake High School's Baba Aladutun. He's ranked the 8th best recruit in the country. Before his announcement, he spoke with Chad Ricardo.
That's right, guys. And Blake High School's Baba Aladotun, one of the top hoopers in all of the country. Tonight, he will make it known where he will be taking his talents next year. But before he does so, let's get to know Baba.
He's a dynamic player with a lot of potential. I think he got a chance to be one of the greats to represent the basketball players in this area.
And in addition to being a top-tier basketball player, the 6'10" wing is also a scholar student athlete, earning a 3.8 GPA. Baba works tirelessly to be the best version of himself, both on and off the court. His daily routine consists of class in the morning, followed by working with a personal trainer, his high school practice, and more work thereafter. He also spends additional time in the library every day, making certain he is as sharp in his studies as he is with his shot.
I mean, it's the process, man. I love it. I really crave the game, so I try my best to just go my hardest every day, just give glory to God and just be the best I can every day.
All the things that trainer used to do, he will be doing it on his own. And that's why I know there's something special here. But he's resilient, just with his determination to be great.
And just a season ago, Baba was the unanimous #1 ranked student athlete in the class of 2027. He and his family decided to reclassify him to the class of 26, as with extra studies, the young man has already completed a majority of his education requirements. Always the hard worker, this evening, Baba will take an opportunity to embrace the fruits of his labor. He may be a generational talent, but Baba made clear he hasn't made it this far on his own.
Who has helped you to make it to this point? The first person I say is definitely my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My entire support system, my family, my mom and my dad, my siblings, all those people, my trainers and coaches, and my teachers as well, definitely. They helped me on the academic side.
Baba's big decision. His top 4 consists of Arkansas, of Kentucky, and local schools, the University of Maryland, and Georgetown. His decision goes down tonight at 7:30 p.m. on his YouTube, Baba the Baller. Be sure to tune in, because coming up at 6, we will let you know why he chooses the school that he will choose. Jim and Marina.
Very cool. We'll be watching. Thank you, Chad. Time now 5:49 as we give you a live look outside at National Harbor. And finally, the skies have cleared and hopefully no more rain.
All right, let's bring Caitlin Ruth. She's here with the forecast.
Yeah, no more rain tonight, you guys. What we did get was very beneficial last night into this morning. It just wasn't much, a little over 1/10 of an inch. But at this point, we'll take what we can get. We've been running very dry, and the drought has been persistent for areas to the west. So despite the fact that we won't have much rain into tomorrow, we will have plenty of cloud cover. The gray November pattern is going to continue, as well as into Friday. And this time, we do get some showers back Friday into Saturday, likely to stay gray until maybe the last couple hours of Saturday. But honestly, I would say we're really kind of waiting until Sunday for a sunny day. But that's kind of how it goes around here as we get into the latter half of fall. So there's your rain total for today. Again, that brings our monthly total to just under 1/2 inch. And we're well over halfway through November and running behind again on precipitation. 43 was the low. We only made it up to 50 for a high temperature today, 7 degrees below normal. And where we're sitting right now is mostly in the 40s area wide. Just 43 in Gaithersburg, 46 in Annapolis, 45 Manassas, 44 Dulles, and 42 in Martinsburg. There's been plenty of cloud cover with just a few brief peaks of sun today and a little bit more sun to our south and west. But you can see a real absence of much of anything on radar. It's just the cloud deck that's been sitting over us through today and will be as well into tonight. So partly to mostly cloudy skies, 40 degrees for that low, a little bit colder overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So very chilly as you step out the door. And because we once again stay completely overcast, temperatures will struggle to warm up and we'll probably only see highs around 50. Here is a look at Futurecast, which shows our next chance of rain arriving on Friday. Now, the first wave of it looks to stay to our south, might graze Fredericksburg and parts of Stafford and Spotsylvania counties, maybe extreme southern Maryland. But I think we'll get more opportunities for showers as we get later on into the afternoon and evening. Here's 8 o'clock, rain right over us. And then the steadiest batch of showers will be overnight into early Saturday morning. This is 6 a.m. on Saturday. We've got rain around, and it really takes its time fully clearing. So at noon, you've still got pockets of drizzle, plenty of cloud cover, and it really is a gloomy picture, at least on Futurecast. So I would say, again, beneficial rain that we do need, but it'll probably make the first half of the weekend a little less than ideal. It's not exactly mild per se as we head into the weekend. It's just that temperatures will be a little bit higher than the past couple days when we've only been right around 50. And then another shot of cool air comes in, followed by maybe a brief little warm up for the beginning of next week. So looking at the weekend, 58 on Saturday with those lingering clouds and showers. Sunday, we get the sunshine back, 56, more of a brisk fall afternoon. It looks good. Okay, early call on Thanksgiving. Yes, it'll be a battle of sun and clouds, but we're predicting right now seasonable temperatures in the mid to upper 50s and no rain. It does look like there will be rain leading up to the holiday. You see Tuesday and Wednesday on your 7-day forecast shows showers around, but it should be just rain showers. Watching closely as we get closer to that holiday. Jim and Marina, back over to you.
All right, Thanksgiving is just a week away. Of course, a lot of people getting that last-minute shopping in.
Yeah, there's a lot of high prices that you're going to find at the grocery aisle, but some shoppers also choosing to shop local. Gwen Talbert at the Brickmont Farmers Market in Bethesda with how you can get ahead of the big Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, Gwen.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, this place offers an awful lot. Now, this is Ben. Ben, you always have regular good vendors here. You know, tell me some of what people will experience when they come here getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Well, I think the most important thing for us is the community spirit. But of course, you can get a lot of shopping done here. We've got a great produce vendors. We've got meats available, like locally produced beef, chicken, we've got fish, and we've got great harvest bread as well. So you can get all of the things you need, short of turkey, for your Thanksgiving plates.
Right, and I was wrong. It's Sam. It's not Ben.
You are doing fabulous.
I've been calling him Ben all day today for some reason.
We're not offended.
And, you know, you have something special coming up, though, next week for Thanksgiving.
It will be the regular scheduled market. Of course, it'll just be a little bit bigger and hopefully a little bit better. Most of what you see here and then a little more.
All right, we're going to step over here because we have a couple of shoppers. Tell me, how are you getting ready for Thanksgiving here at the market?
Well, we have great produce every week. So we're here to look for some produce, and we also love the Great Harvest Bread Company.
What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving?
Well, the turkey, but they also have a lot of options for the Thanksgiving menu, I feel like.
Okay, well, we've got a little bit of video to show you. Take a look at this because there's a variety of things here that people can enjoy, you know, from whatever they want to put on their table to maybe what they want to even buy and prepare and take in as a gift for someone. I mean, if you're doing the cooking, there's obviously some good options. And back out here live now, we've got lots of good sweet stuff. What's the favorite thing on the table?
Pumpkin Yumpkin is the favorite. It's a pumpkin spice tea cake with chocolate chips in the middle.
Of course it is. I'm going to have to take some of that home. All right? Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Back to you.
Thank you, Gwen. Coming up, the jewels are still missing, but the Louvre is making sure the heist like that never happens again.
And all new at 6, permanent contraception. The growing number of young women opting for the surgery after Roe v. Wade was overturned. We're back after this.
local Hyundai dealer today.
Back now with 5 things to know. Montgomery County Police searching for 2 suspects accused of stealing from an Ulta beauty store. It happened earlier this month at the location on Columbia Pike in Burtonsville. Unclear how much the 2 women made off with.
8 Prince George's County high school students facing judge charges. Flowers High went under lockdown yesterday after a 15-year-old allegedly bypassed security, retrieved a gun, then fled school grounds before he was arrested. Nobody was hurt.
And cases of infant botulism linked to ByHeart formula climbing to 31 across 15 states. Right now, they do not include Virginia or Maryland. The affected ByHeart products were recalled last week, but according to investigators, many are still on store shelves. Health officials warning parents to stop using ByHeart formula and seek help if babies display symptoms like difficulty swallowing.
Tighter security measures coming to the Louvre after last month's jewel heist. During a security hearing in Paris today, the museum's director announced 100 new cameras, a mobile police station, and a new security coordinator position. 7 people have been arrested in connection with the $100 million heist, but only 1 piece has been recovered.
Roger Federer headed to the International Tennis Hall of Fame, elected in his first year of eligibility after a record-shattering 20 Grand Slam titles. He is the only player to clear the 75% vote threshold for the Hall's 2026 class. The 103-time tour winner calling the honor deeply humbling, with the induction ceremony set for August in Rhode Island.
All right, I'll be back for Like It or Not at 7 o'clock.
The 6 starts now.
Right now at 6, Republican lawmakers target D.C.'s crime laws. The new effort on Capitol Hill to take control of the district's criminal justice system. The future of data centers in the DMV, what utility companies are pushing for tonight, and how residents are pushing back. And could the criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey be thrown out? The new developments today in court. The 6 starts right now. The 6 begins with Congress taking aim at crime and justice in the district. Tonight, a critical vote in the House.
Republicans advancing 2 pieces of legislation targeting local D.C. laws on bail and police reforms. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is live on the Hill tonight. Fitz, what's the latest on these bills so far?
Oh, good evening. At this hour, the floor debate has ended inside the United States Capitol. The House now moving towards these votes later tonight. They would not only upend D.C.'s local bail system, but also pull back many of the local D.C. police reforms that were put into place following the George Floyd protest. Now, that first bill would end D.C.'s local no-cash bail system and replace it with a cash bail system, basically tying a person's ability to be released to their ability to pay. The second bill would also roll back a lot of local D.C. police reforms that have been put into effect over the last couple of years. Things like rules on pursuit, chokeholds, the wearing and usage of body cameras, and also wider accountability for D.C. police. Democrats say crime is down in D.C. and that the Republicans are overreaching here and violating home rule. Republicans say it is the very same local D.C. government which instituted policies which caused a crime spike in recent years.
For far too long, dangerous criminals have been allowed to roam the streets of Washington, D.C., posing a threat to the general public. Progressive activist judges are currently allowed to release criminals.
The people best positioned to make decisions about the local policies in their local communities are local leaders, after listening to that local community.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser termed these bills as what she said was an affront to home rule. You might expect advocates on both sides diametrically opposed on this. Some folks say that, the D.C. Police Department has been fighting crime with one arm tied behind its back because of these so-called reforms. In another arena, advocates in the legal world say that right now, the Congress would be upending a system that would leave those in prison who could not pay bail in behind bars, while those who had the ability to pay, well, they'd get out.
These weren't police reforms, they were police deforms. When you don't let police chase after suspects when they've committed a crime in front of their very face.
It doesn't enhance safety. On top of that, our jails cannot handle what this proposal is.
All All right, so where we are right now, shortly after 6 p.m., the debate is over. We are awaiting votes tonight. Shortly, we're expecting after 8 p.m. this evening. We're live on the Hill tonight. We'll send it back into you.
Just a couple hours away. Thank you, Fitz. More National Guard troops headed for the district. We have learned early next month, roughly 300 from Indiana will be deployed to replace troops from other states. Now, many have been here since the Trump D.C. takeover back in August. Indiana's Republican governor approving that deployment today. The troops will assist civilian agencies and local law enforcement in reducing crime and also minimizing property damage.
All right, let's turn our attention to the weather here. Get you a live look outside. The view of Reston from our Fox 5 sky cam here. 46 degrees. I had to look at it, squint my eyes because I'm like, is it really that cold right now?
I know, yeah. People are shivering. I mean, I brought the puffer coat. I don't know if that's a little extreme today, but
too early, Angie.
Okay, all right.
Is it? Yeah, you got to wait till when? Like when can the puffers come out?
Like when it's actually winter.
Okay,
yeah,
okay, you got to be in winter. A month away.
Yeah. Maybe a little premature. We know that the rain, I feel like, has fizzled out, but the clouds are hanging around.
Yeah, and it's just going to be kind of gray, you guys, through the next few days. I mean, next sunny one is probably not until Sunday. Okay. So, yeah, I know.
Wow.
Keep those spirits high.
Yeah, keep those happy lights around.
We'll all be saying hallelujah.
Exactly, we will. Yeah, Sunday we'll finally see some things turn around. Not that it's also bad, but as you can tell from today, the cloud cover really makes it feel even colder than it is out there. And so without the sun, as the clouds are really going to hang tough tomorrow, we expect temperatures to be pretty similar. And today, we once again came up short in terms of highs. 50 at DCA, 45 at Dulles, 48 at BWI. I mean, the advertised 57 in Dulles, only in the mid-40s. We started this morning off with some rain that quickly cleared, but as we take a live look out at DC from our Earth Cam, beautiful shot here from the Kennedy Center, shows the evening commute ongoing across Rock Creek Parkway. The level of overcast is still pretty thick. 46 degrees at the airport, winds out of the northwest at 12 miles an hour, and temperatures pretty much across the board are in the low to mid 40s. We may get some partial clearing tonight, just enough for temperatures to fall back to 40 in the city, widespread 30s outside the Beltway. For tomorrow, not much change. The clouds are with us, and those temperatures struggle to maybe hit 50, 51, 52 degrees. We're slightly milder Thursday and Friday, but there will be, or Friday and Saturday, there will be some showers to kick off the weekend. We'll talk about those rain chances and a preview of your Thanksgiving travel forecast. That's coming up in a bit. Back to you.
Caitlin, see you in a bit. A Fox 5 News alert now. Former Real Housewives of Potomac star Mia Fields Thornton arrested at Atlanta's airport today. Body camera video captured the arrest. We learned officers were searching for her after she allegedly stole $11,000 worth of furniture from a rental condo in Atlanta. A police report says Thornton moved out in the middle of the night without notice. She's charged with larceny. Developing in the district, a man who pulled an Uzi-style semi-automatic pistol and threatened a family on a Metro bus has been sentenced. Ricardo Rush will spend 5 years in prison. He pled guilty in June after threatening to kill 2 parents and their young children. New at 6, a school bus driver arrested for DUI during his morning bus route in Frederick County, Virginia. The district says all students on the bus are safe. Details about the driver have not yet been released. In a letter sent to parents, the superintendent says safety remains the top priority. That incident under investigation tonight.
Well, tonight, a bill requiring the Justice Department to publicly release all files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is waiting for President Trump's signature. The legislation receiving overwhelming bipartisan support on Capitol Hill, despite some deep divisions along the way. Well, the president has indicated that he's going to sign it after reversing his earlier opposition. The bill orders the release within 30 days of all Epstein-related files, including communications and details from the investigation into his death in prison. In the meantime, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers resigning from the board of OpenAI. That is the company behind ChatGPT. His resignation today coming after those emails between him and Epstein were released last week, revealing a chummy relationship between the two.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say stock trading by members of Congress and the profits they're making are getting out of control. If a new bill becomes law, lawmakers who violate the rules would be fined 10% of the value of their investment and lose out on any earnings. Lawmakers would have to divest their holdings or put them into a blind trust. The ban would also extend to close family members.
When the stock portfolios of members of Congress regularly beat the S&P 500 and members leave the office with vastly higher net worths than when they arrived, the public is right to be alarmed.
According to a 2024 report on data that is available, 46 members of Congress, amongst those who trade, outperformed the S&P 500 last year. 14 of those more than doubled that baseline.
Now, there have been attempts to pass similar laws in the past. All of them have failed. Some of the bill's backers say they plan to force a vote on the House floor, even if they need to go around party leadership.
Well, tonight, a key group which oversees our region's electric grid shutting down a plan that would have offered key incentives for data centers and potentially lower energy costs for customers.
This comes as lawmakers across the region are urging electrical grid operators to do more to protect consumers. Here's Tisha Lewis in Silver Spring tonight.
The proposal overwhelmingly failed by more than double. That's the latest coming in. Meanwhile, PMJ, that's the electrical grid provider for several states, including Virginia and Maryland, and also the District of Columbia, plus West Virginia and Pennsylvania and many more states. They are the electrical grid operator that is at the center of all of this. Now, these data centers, like the one that you see right here behind me, are popping up across the DMV and really nationwide. Also reportedly going up since data centers started calling these areas home are customers' energy bills. But here's the vote.
3D has also failed.
The proposal would have reportedly offered incentives to the data center companies if they provide their own power source instead of depending on the utility grid. That failed. Now it's back to the drawing board. PJM says its goal is to, quote, preserve grid reliability for the 67 million people it serves while managing the integration of data centers and other large electricity users onto the system. Even so, we spoke with a resident concerned about the booming data center development, and he says he's not convinced there's a solution once the data centers are here.
We hear a lot of promises. We hear a lot of things trying to sound like they are mitigating the issue. But I don't see anything official.
There was a lot of information, I think, in these votes. So we're going to study them closely, votes by sector, by member, and try to think about just all of the great input that we have received today.
PJM says it received several different proposals, calling the issue important. Just moments ago, PJM told Fox 5 they will be issuing a statement shortly. Meanwhile, the group plans to go through all of the data and information and decide its next steps.
So to come, a second source of water, the growing debate about utility reliability in the district. And let's find out what our Katie Barlow has coming up.
We're learning today that the grand jury in Virginia that indicted former FBI Director Jim Comey may not have seen a critical document. Those details ahead.
I said I'm geek and I'm fired up. All I want tonight is just get high. All I want is loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
WTTG-TV-and-FOX.com.
New details coming to light in a hearing in the case of former FBI Director James Comey. The Virginia grand jury that indicted him never saw the final indictment before it was presented to a judge.
Fox 5's chief legal correspondent Katie Barlow in the newsroom tonight with the details. Katie.
Today's hearing was about Comey's motion to dismiss the case for vindictive prosecution. His lawyers say that Trump ordered DOJ to prosecute Comey because of personal spite and because Comey has been a vocal critic of the president in the past. That's in part from this Truth Social post from Trump calling Comey guilty as hell and asking Attorney General Bondi to go after him, also invoking Lindsay Halligan's name, the current U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, who presented the Comey case to the grand jury and was the sole signatory on Comey's indictment. During today's hearing, we learned that the entire grand jury never saw the two-count indictment that was handed up to the magistrate judge to eventually sign the arrest warrant. Earlier this week, we learned that Halligan may have made constitutional errors when presenting to the grand jury, including suggesting that if Comey was innocent, that he could present evidence in his own defense to refute that charge. That mistakes the government's burden, which is to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. A defendant always has the right to remain silent.
So here she's telling the grand jury that the defendant can prove his innocence and should prove his innocence. So she didn't seem to understand the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. So that's an error, referring to evidence that the grand jury didn't see in a general way. That's an error. And not having the grand jury see the actual indictment, that's an error.
Just a few moments ago, the Department of Justice filed a brief in the case quibbling with that interpretation of Halligan's statements before the grand jury, saying they were taken out of context by the magistrate judge earlier this week.
Katie Barlow, thank you. Let's turn our attention to the weather now and get you back outside. A live look from our Fox 5 sky cam, the view of Reagan National there. And we've been saying it's a chilly night tonight, but I hope that there's going to be a warm up.
I know, and what a difference a day makes. Yesterday we were looking at this view, and we had a wet tarmac that pilots were dealing with, and so things a little bit more dry out there, but still chilly.
Definitely chilly, and that's probably not changing anytime soon. I mean, we are in the second half of November.
There we go.
I said I was hoping for a warm up.
Yeah, no, I know, but you know what hope is? The postponement of disappointment.
Yeah. I've never heard it phrased like that, but yes, I think I'm going to pull that out over and over again this upcoming winter.
When people say, I hope I win the lottery, well, let me tell you.
I hope I get snow, or you hope you don't get snow.
You're
Either
just
way.
postponing the disappointment.
It's true. All right, well, not too bad, though, as we head through the rest of the week and into the weekend, and already looking at next week because, well, it's time to travel for Thanksgiving, right? And it's not just the day before or day of anymore. A lot of people even hitting the skies and the roads this weekend to get a jump start. So we are tracking the chance for more showers after a cloudy Thursday. That will be late Friday into Saturday and will linger into the first half of the weekend before clearing into a really nice Sunday. Let's recap today. Not a big temperature spread as we started off with clouds and showers. 43 was the low, 50 was the high. Now we picked up just over 1/10 of an inch of rain from the showers last night. It's not a lot. We need more. Our monthly total now just under a ½ inch. So we are running dry for November, as we've been running dry all fall, and we still have the drought to the west. But we'll take what we can get, and with some additional showers coming in Friday, maybe a few next week, that will certainly help. Looking at metro temperatures, 46 in D.C., 47 in Upper Marlboro, 48 in Montrose and Colonial Beach, 46 Dale City, and 43 in Leesburg. It's a chilly night. No showers, though, to contend with this evening. Just cloud cover on satellite and radar, and really all across the country. Stalled front to our south, but it's not producing any rain. We look pretty quiet with high pressure just to our north. Despite the fact that we're under the influence of high pressure tomorrow, enough of a northeasterly component to the wind will lock in that cloud cover and that cool feel for yet another day, as temperatures may not rise out of the upper 40s to our north and west, and then maybe just kind of briefly get into the low 50s for us. So a similar day tomorrow, 52 and mostly cloudy. And then on Friday, we'll watch for those showers to come in after a high of 58. So here's overnight into early Friday. The morning commute it looks fine. First batch of showers tracking to our south, but then later in the evening, I think a better shot of everybody seeing a little bit of rain. So you're out on your Friday night, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. There's some rain. Overnight, it looks steadier into Saturday morning. So it'll be a soggy start to the day, and it looks like there's the potential for the clouds and the drizzle to really linger through much of the afternoon. So I wouldn't be too optimistic about Saturday. Sunday, though, does look better. As we turn our attention to the pre-Thanksgiving travel, there does look to be a storm system moving across the country, as well as some moisture in the Pacific Northwest, with the highest impacts maybe around the Great Lakes, although certainly anyone along the eastern seaboard, depending on when you're traveling, could encounter some of this rain. Best chance for D.C. going to be Wednesday, the day before. It looks like Tuesday or Wednesday for New York and Boston, more of a Wednesday situation. By Thanksgiving, though, everybody looks to be dry. Chilly, seasonable, and cloudy, but should be dry. Interesting in the Great Lakes, obviously their travel weather, it's kind of moved up a day, so the impacts would be more Tuesday with the rain. And look how cold by Thanksgiving itself, only in the 30s. St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, barely getting above freezing. Down to the south, the rain becomes a thunderstorm concern for Tuesday. Although Orlando looks great, wouldn't you like to be in the 80s there in the run up to the holiday? West Coast looks pretty different. It looks pretty good. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, no problems. And I mentioned the Pacific Northwest. There could be some showers in Seattle. Otherwise, pretty good for San Francisco and Los Angeles. So we'll go through that map pretty periodically as we get closer to the holiday. I know it's a lot of cities at once, but just suffice to say, probably going to have at least some rain component to the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. But by Thursday, looks pretty good, dry and seasonable. There's the 7-day showers this weekend, clearing on Sunday, and we'll be watching that holiday very closely. Angie and Kenneth, back over to you.
Kaylin, thank you. DC Water is working to find a second source of drinking water for the city. Today it launched Pure Water DC, an initiative to strengthen the region's water supply. Right now, the Potomac River is DC's only source, and experts say any disruption would result in a massive economic impact.
We are launching Pure Water DC, which is a collaborative effort to increase the resilience of DC and the region's water supply. It includes a portfolio of solutions, including water recycling and storage opportunities to address this issue of the single source of water.
$21 million has been approved to fund studies and pilot projects over the next 3 years.
The faster you go, the more you're going to pay. The tiered speeding fines coming to one DMV community.
Plus, celebrating America 250, Fox 5 takes you to College Park Aviation Museum to highlight Prince George's County's role in American history. Stay with us. The 6 will be right back. groundbreaking this morning in Fairfax County for the next phase of the new West Falls neighborhood. The 40-acre area will connect housing, transit, and open space at the West Falls Church Metro Station.
Not only are we building a lot of housing here, we're also building some affordable housing, which is absolutely essential to support our economy. We also know we have environmental challenges and congestion challenges on our roadways, and the more opportunities we have to take people out of their cars and give them opportunities to live in transit-oriented developments.
The project is expected to be complete sometime within the next 2 years.
Okay, so starting today, the faster you speed in Bowie, the more expensive your ticket is going to be. Bowie is implementing this new tiered fine system for their speed cameras. Drivers caught going 12 or 15 miles over the limit, you're going to get your usual $40 ticket. Now, you get caught going 16 to 19 over the limit, you're going to be fined $70. And if you are going more than 40 miles over the limit, well, besides having a talking to, you're going to get a $425 ticket.
So slow down.
Slow down,
okay.
Yeah. Use common sense.
America's 250th in your hometown. This week, we're highlighting the College Park Aviation Museum in Prince George's County. It sits on the site of the College Park Airport. Museum officials call it a field of first.
We call this the field of firsts. You know, the Wright brothers trained Army pilots here in 1909. So modern-day military aviation starts here. Radio navigation starts here. Bomb sight testing start here. Machine gun testing start here. Airmail starts here in 1919.
What a history. The museum is open Tuesday through Sunday.
The new wellness treatment, if you are feeling stressed out, and how it's helping farmers in the DMV. But first, here is what Bob's working on and what he's following. Bob?
An assistant volleyball coach here in Northern Virginia charged with sex crimes involving a young player. The new details in this case when Fox 5 comes right back.
As dairy prices fall, some farms around the country and here in the DMV are turning to cow cuddling as a source of income. The quirky agri-tourism trend invites visitors to spend time hugging, petting, and relaxing with cows, offering both stress relief for people and financial support for farmers. Guests often describe the experience as very calming and therapeutic. And there's actually a cow farm that does this in Brandywine, Maryland. So you go out there and do a little cow hugging. You nap with them. They're just naturally calm. So
I would hug a heifer in a heartbeat. It looks so comforting.
I came up with that. Give me credit.
I actually was thinking of that before you said it during the break, Angie.
Great minds think alike.
We've been together too much. Let's go hug some heifers.
Or we could call it Moo and You if we ever started a farm together.
Oh my gosh,
Right,
I love
that'd be
this
good.
so much. And those people look like they were having a great time. And the cows look like they enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're just naturally big and warm and calm. So they just don't fit in a house like a little puppy.
That's a great description. I would never want to be described that way. Okay, big, warm, cuddly. Hey, Andrew, got to go. A lot more news ahead. Let's get to those headlines. Right now, 6:30, a youth volleyball coach accused of sexually assaulting a child. The details police were revealing about the disturbing investigation. Plus, Montgomery County Public Schools boundary study debate, why the teachers union and PTA leaders are urging the district to pump the brakes. And the major public health threat from a specific type of food, the warning from the experts tonight. Thanks for keeping it right here at 6:30. We do begin this half hour with a check of the top stories we're following tonight. Newly released images tonight of two women accused of stealing from an Ulta beauty store in Montgomery County. Police say it happened earlier this month at the location on Columbia Pike in Burtonsville. It's not clear how much suspects allegedly made off with. If you recognize them, contact police. Former NBA player Patrick Beverly accused of beating up his teen sister outside of Houston. The police affidavit says he punched and choked the 15-year-old last Friday after she sneaked out of the house to meet her 18-year-old boyfriend. Court records accuse him of picking her up by the neck and hitting her in the eye. Beverly, who's known for his time playing for the Rockets, Clippers, and Bucks, is facing a felony assault charge. An Ashburn volunteer fire chief arrested accused of embezzling station funds. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office arrested 66-year-old William Graham for allegedly stealing $2,000. Deputies say they were alerted after Graham made reports about fraudulent charges on his fire department issued credit card. He was and has been released on an unsecured bond. New details tonight in the arrest of a Northern Virginia volleyball coach accused of sexual battery involving a 13-year-old girl. Fox 5's Bob Barnard in Manassas with the latest.
We're told it would normally be busy at this time on a Wednesday after school in this industrial park, but the neighboring businesses tell us the Manassas Volleyball Club has been fairly quiet of late. Manassas City Police are telling us Richard Trevor Hill was arrested 2 weeks ago on 3 charges related to an incident with a 13-year-old girl who was part of the Manassas Volleyball Club. The crime allegedly happening inside the club on Friday, September 26th, around 5 p.m. The 33-year-old Hill, known as Trevor, is charged with sexual battery, unlawful creation of an image of another, and taking indecent liberties with a child by a person in a custodial or supervisory relationship. He's been released from jail on an unsecured $10,000 bond. In court documents, a Manassas City police detective writes, the accused would quickly hide the cell phone when the victim would lift her head up to look at the accused or her surroundings. Families connected to the club tell us Trevor Hill had just been certified to train girls in jumping skills. His wife, one of the head coaches at the club. This allegedly happening during a training session between seasons. They say Hill was nice and helpful and that they're shocked by the allegations. In a statement to Fox 5, club director Glenn Martin called Hill an assistant coach, writing in part, law enforcement has requested access to our security footage as part of their investigation. All ties between this individual and Manassas Volleyball Club have been severed. The safety and well-being of our athletes is, and always will be, our highest priority. We're told Hill's wife is also no longer associated with the club. Families say she was a phenomenal coach. We've made a number of efforts to reach Trevor Hill today, but all have been unsuccessful. Meanwhile, Manassas City Police tell us their investigation of this case remains open in case any other victims come forward.
Bob, thank you. Supporting families in need, the key achievements in the district to ensure every child and family is fed after this Fox 5 breakthrough. A reminder tonight, if you need help getting food this holiday season, Mayor Muriel Bowser and DC Health highlighted food assistance programs available for locals today. Produce Plus and Healthy Corners offer fresh, healthy food for eligible residents. DC invests nearly $2 million a year in the programs. Right now, Loudoun County schools seeing a surge in free and reduced lunch applications. And they're not the only district dealing with the increase. Fox 5's Homa Bash is here now to explain. Homa.
Kenneth, the overall message here from schools I spoke to across the DMV is that they're going to make sure no kid is sitting in class hungry. But for some, the number of requests they're getting for free lunch programs seem to have spiked this school year. In Loudoun County, for example, a 180% rise in applications. LCPS officials tell me it is too early to pinpoint what is causing the surge. Layoffs, furloughs, government shutdown, all of that could play a role. But what is key is figuring out what to do with that data.
It's that red flag that's like, hey, hold on, we got something going on. What is it that we need to do? How can we help our families? We're really going to lean into our family liaisons right now, who have a lot of direct contact with those families that a lot of times need those extra supports, and saying, you know, what are we seeing? What are they experiencing? How can we help?
Now, according to Loudoun County Schools, that 180% spike is from August to November this year compared to last, and unpaid meal debt is up more than 50%. For context, school lunch there costs $3.55. Data from 2024 showing about 26% of LCPS students were part of the free lunch plan. In Prince George's County, more than 60% of students are getting free and reduced meals this school year compared to 56.5% last year, about a 4% increase. PG Schools attributing the jump to furloughed workers needing help for their kids. Fairfax County telling me the number of kids on free lunch right now roughly the same as it was last year, about 36.5% of students. And in DC, 77% of students get free lunch, but unpaid meal debt there seems to have more than doubled so far this year, $70,000 compared to $30,000 for the same 3 months last year. One thing to mention is that Loudoun County has a lot of help from local nonprofits to help bridge the gap for families who may need help, from discreet Amazon deliveries of groceries to your front door to roundups at giant grocery stores that help clear that unpaid meal debt. But regardless of a child's ability to pay, all the schools tell me they will get that meal no matter what. Kenneth.
Important information there. All right, Homa, thank you. PTA leaders in Montgomery County are trying to pump the brakes on the school's proposed boundary program. The school system says new boundaries are needed to address overcrowding and 2 new high schools. But the PTAs and teachers union are frustrated. The plan would eliminate a popular lottery for schools and will leave some schools still overcrowded. PTA leaders are asking families to make their voices heard. Our still to come, a major development in the murder investigation involving a teen girl and a popular singer. TMZ joins us live with news of a suspect. Plus, helping Americans pay for the skyrocketing cost of health insurance, what Republican lawmakers are working on. Stay with us.
Then you're left in the dust unless I stuck by you.
Welcome back. This central issue during the shutdown fight now has Republicans trying to come up with a plan to address health care costs. Democrats want to extend expiring tax credits, but several Republicans are working on proposals that would send federal assistance directly to consumers instead of insurance companies. A handful also support extending the tax credits, which expire at the end of the year, to give lawmakers more time. Health experts say ultra-processed foods are a growing global public health threat. The Lancet published a series of papers linking these foods to multiple chronic conditions. Ultra-processed foods make up more than half of the average American's daily calories. Researchers say the trend is growing worldwide. One French study of more than 100,000 people found vegetarians actually eat the most ultra-processed foods. Tonight, word of a sharp rise in the number of women undergoing permanent contraception. Researchers at Penn State University found a large amount of younger women who have never given birth were getting their tubes tied. In the year after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, researchers saw a 51% increase in the procedure. All right, coming up, all-time record viewership, a new monumental high for two D.C. sports franchises. And let's give this meteorologist record high viewership tonight.
Yeah, let's do it as we get you ready for a night that's going to feature some colder temperatures outside, and then a day tomorrow that'll be like today. Clouds are going to fight that sunshine, but will rain knock out those weekend plans. You see what I did there?
Yeah, sure.
Well, find out when the 6 returns. Okay. Oh.
Me gustaba, pero ya no. Yo estaba pa' ti, pero ya no. Pero ya no. Pero ya no.
All right, get this, a top basketball recruit in the country and in Montgomery County in just minutes will announce where he's taking his talents next year. And before he does, he sat down with our Chad Ricardo, who's live tonight in Montgomery County. Chad, exciting.
Super excited indeed, Kenneth. We are here at Blake High School where their star student athlete, Baba Alatatatoon, in just moments will announce where it is that he is taking his talents next year. But before he does, here's a glimpse into what makes him so special.
He's probably one of the most unique basketball players and young men that you're going to meet. His work ethic, his drive, the values that his family has instilled in him makes him a very unique individual.
In And standing at 6'10", Baba's ability both on and off the court have made the Montgomery County native one of the most highly sought-after DMV student athletes of some time. The five-star amassed 40-plus official offers, including those from nearly every top program in the country. But for Baba and his family, they zeroed in early on what they're looking for in a collegiate home.
Number one thing is like a family aspect, something that like I can see like inside my home, a coaching staff that has a history of winning and just like producing a lot of NBA talent.
It's got to be a situation where Baba can grow. Yeah. Not just as a basketball player, he can grow in his faith. That's extremely important to us.
And Baba's Final Four consists of Arkansas, Kentucky, University of Maryland, and Georgetown. In addition to his development, Baba's father, Ibrahim, told Fox 5 it's important that Baba's choice is one that is accessible to his village, that his trainers, his family, and loved ones have the ability to keep their arms wrapped around their young men. This, of course, is a potentially good sign for local options, Georgetown and UMD. But no matter where Baba chooses, he told me he strives to be a pillar of the community and someone who gives back to those who got next. There's a ton of younger student athletes who, again, hope to one day be where you are. What's your message to that boy, that girl that's watching today?
I mean, simple, trust and believe in a support system, and I say keep the main thing the main thing. Don't let anyone outside people distract you from the main goal.
Don't let anyone distract you from the main goal. The decision, where will Baba take his talents? It's going down this evening at 7:30 p.m. Now you can watch this streaming on Baba's YouTube channel, which is Baba the Baller 10, as well as Fox 5's YouTube channel. There are a lot of Hoyas and Terps fans with their fingers crossed. Kenneth?
Oh, where will Baba go? We can't wait to find out. All right, Chad, thank you. Monumental Sports Network is celebrating record-setting viewership across its women's sports programming during the 2025 season. Broadcasts of the WNBA's Washington Mystics and the NWSL's Washington Spirit both posted all-time highs. The network's expanded post-game programming also achieved milestone engagement. Let's turn our attention to the weather now. Get you back outside alive. Look now from our Fox 5 Sky Cam. The Capitol wheel is a-turning here. It's not frozen, even though I'm feeling a little chilly, Mike Thomas.
A little shivery.
Yeah.
It's cold out there. I mean, it certainly is. That lack of sunshine today didn't help, and I think we're fighting those clouds again tomorrow.
Are you fighting anything there?
Yeah, just a little bit of that, what do we call that? Oh, early season chill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little something.
Just going over there.
It's all right. It's not contagious, I swear. As we look out across the area, 50 degrees, your high temperature in D.C. today. Today's rain total, and you add it with yesterday's, we did more than double what we've had through the month so far. Now, that is not a lot of rain. Still just about half an inch for the entire month of November so far. Now, we may add to it as we get through the upcoming weekend. So that's something we're certainly watching here in the weather department. Earth Cam. Beautiful view of it, maybe not so beautiful of Rock Creek Parkway there, where you can see traffic all jammed up. So travelers, be warned, extra time if you're traveling that way. But hey, at least the shot looks pretty. Again, Earth Cam bringing us that shot. Great view of D.C. We're not far from there. Reagan National Airport, 46-degree temperature right now. Winds out of the north and west at about 12 miles per hour. Temps across the rest of the area, chilly to cold. I mean, look at Winchester, already down to 37. Hagerstown, 41. Frederick and Westminster, 43. So is Gaithersburg, 46 for Quantico, as well as Leonardtown. Fredericksburg, Virginia is at 45 degrees. Overnight lows dipping back down into the 30s in many locations. Below freezing in areas where they're able to do a little bit more clearing than perhaps we will here in D.C. We're going to hang on to about 40 degrees. Not too far off seasonal there for us. 32 Hagerstown, 36 Martinsburg, Frederick down to about 31. Culpeper, 37 for you. Satellite and radar, we still have cloud cover out there. Occasionally it is breaking up. West of where you see the stripe of white, that's sort of some low-level clouds sneaking on through D.C. Once you get west of there are some clearing areas. Fortunately, you go farther west from that, well, there is a little bit more cloud cover sneaking in across the Midwest, and that's what we'll fight tomorrow. I think we do see a little bit more sun compared to today. High pressure to the north, it is steering in drier air, so with that, we should see a little bit more breakage in the clouds. However, However, these winds also kind of coming occasionally off the ocean will mix in some cloud cover from time to time as well. So in and out of the clouds, that'll keep temperatures cool once again. Some, especially north of D.C., stay in the 40s most of the day. D.C. perhaps touching the lower 50s, just like we did this afternoon. In fact, tomorrow's planner looks very similar. No rain to start, but high temperatures only in the 40s with cloud cover on and off throughout the course of the afternoon. Futurecast has it as well. You see Thursday, 11:30. Some breaks in the clouds, but clouds generally winning the day. We get into the day on Friday. We'll track our next rainfall chance. Batch looks like it wants to pass to our south in the morning, but another batch comes our way as we head towards the afternoon and evening hours. So if you have Friday night plans into Saturday morning, prepare for a wet start to the weekend. Good news is I do think this all gets out of here pretty quickly Saturday morning. Not so sure I buy that scattered shower activity hanging around into the afternoon. I think it's going to exit pretty quick here. We'll try and get back to sun and have more of it for the day on Sunday. So your weekend forecast looks like this. 58 Saturday right now. Clouds and showers, especially the front half of the day Saturday, and then Sunday brings more sunshine. High temperature of about 56 degrees. If you're planning that holiday travel, some impacts potentially on Tuesday into Wednesday here as the storm system is going to pass us by. It could lead to some delays locally because of weather. You see, if you have traveling more north and west, watch out for more delays up towards the Great Lakes region where some up that way could see some snow. 7-day forecast has some 60s on it, but you got to wait till next week to enjoy them. That run up to Thanksgiving could be mild at about 63 degrees. Kenneth?
All right, Mike, thank you. The Simpsons has killed off a longtime character, beloved Springfield church organist Alice Glick. She died suddenly in the middle of a sermon during the season 37 episode, Sashes to Sashes, on Sunday night. She was originally voiced by Cloris Leachman for 35 years until she passed in 2021. That's when Tress McNeil took over. Time check with our friends at TMZ. Investigators now view singer David as a possible suspect in the Celeste Rivas apparent homicide. And Zac Efron steals the limelight away from his own brother Dylan during an episode of Dancing with the Stars. TMZ all over these stories, of course. Charles Hadaboudier joins us now. Charles, good to see you, friend.
Hey, Kenneth, how you doing?
I'm great. Let's start with this Rivas investigation and the development that may not be a surprise to many.
Yeah, I mean, considering that it's been 2 months now since Celeste Rivas's body was found in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. What we have learned now is that investigators are viewing him as a suspect, and they're viewing him as a suspect based on evidence they have gathered to this point. They are also viewing her death as a homicide. Now, I say they're viewing her death as a homicide because they are still waiting for toxicology results from the medical examiner's office. So they need the medical examiner to determine the manner and cause of death. And that may be what's holding them up in making any arrests. But what we now know is that investigators have been very busy, and they have gathered enough evidence to reach those two theories that David is the suspect and that it was a homicide. The other thing they learned, and this is really key, was that back in the spring of this year, David made a trip from LA to Santa Barbara County, a very remote part of Santa Barbara County, in the middle of the night. They say he was there for a couple of hours and then returned to LA. Now, what happened when he went up there, we don't know that yet. And the investigators may have their theories, I'm sure they do, but they're not saying yet because they're obviously trying to gather more evidence, and they want those toxicology results, I think, before they go public with anything and before they make any arrests.
And I assume that David has already gotten, in this 2 months, his legal representation figured out.
He does have a lawyer. We know that as to his whereabouts, which everyone has been asking, we just don't know. We know he has his parents live in the Houston area. He grew up there. He might be at their home, but he has not been cited in Texas or LA.
Yeah, he's been locked down, hasn't said anything. The question is, do investigators know where he is?
Yeah, I can't answer that. Yeah. But I'm sure they're very interested.
We know that you guys will stay on top of that. Let's switch this up here. Dancing with the Stars, we know that there are A-list, B-list, some Z-list celebrities on there. Dylan Efron.
Wow, so judgmental, Kenneth.
I'm just saying, let's be real here. I'm not an A-list celebrity, but I'm an A-list newscaster. I'll tell you that. Hey, okay, so Zac Efron, get me off track here. So Zac Efron, he went to Dance with the Stars, but the cameras are all on him.
Yeah, this was the moment that that all the Dancing with the Stars audience have been expecting all season, because Zach's brother Dylan is one of the contestants who's been doing very well. Last night was the semifinals, and finally Zach showed up. And yes, you could say he stole the spotlight. There was a lot of camera shots of Zach sitting there with he and Dylan's younger sister. Also, Dylan's girlfriend was there. So the whole family was there watching, cheering him on. I think, look, I don't think it swayed the judges. By the way, Dylan scored a 27 out of 30. Very, very good. Where I think it's going to help is probably with the audience vote, which we'll find out how it came out. But the audience has got to be swayed by Zach.
You know what?
I would think,
Charles,
sitting there. Yeah.
I'm sure it has I think it has an impact. And also, he stole the limelight here during this TMZ segment. You know how I know? Because while you're speaking, we didn't show one image of Dylan. People don't even know what the man looks like. All right. All right, Charles.
Well, we'll see. If he ends up winning, they'll know that.
We'll see. Maybe we'll give him some time here on Fox 5.
Maybe.
Good to see you, friend. We'll check you out on TMZ right here on Fox 5 at 7:30.
Allowance.
All right, let's get to Dylan Efron's biggest fan. Hey, Jim.
You know, I saw a picture of Dylan Efron and Zac Efron. I could not tell you. Well, I knew who was who, but I could not tell you who Dylan Efron is, aside from the fact he's Zac Efron's brother. That's all I know about him.
Dancing with the Stars.
Well, stars. You're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel there with that show.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, I know one thing you're also passionate about is local sports.
Yes.
And tonight, there is a survey out that says D.C. is in the top 10 of sports capitals. Do you believe that? Fox5DC.com/line. Cast your vote. We'll talk about that and more on the show tonight.
Of course. And you heard it from the person who knows the most about sports.
That's right.
Kenneth Moton.
Yes.
See you after the breakthrough.
It's the guy who wrote the book on menopause.
See, you busted my chops. I just got here.
I'm not busting your chops because tonight it is the all-male version of Like It or Not. But again, he's the menopausal Marine. Eric Rittmeyer's here tonight. You come in from Baltimore County every time. We love having you on here, but I know it's a bit of a drive. How do you occupy your time in the car? Music or anything? Or?
No music, totally silent. I know, psychopath. I don't like music when I drive. I like to think the whole time. That's what I do.
You are not alone. A lot of people saying road trips, do it in silence. That's the way to do it. We're going to talk about that and much more on Like It or Not. So let's go. Welcome to the show. It is, what night is it?
Wednesday.
You're screwing me up, Guy Lambert.
What night is it?
I have to say with attitude. I'm a reader.
Don't forget the manly part. Manly.
Welcome to the show. Wednesday night. Mike Thomas is here. Guy Lambert, and as mentioned, Eric Rittmeyer. It's good to see you all here tonight.
Happy to be here.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to come. Let's do this. It's been a little while for me.
He's really amped up for it.
I wore a collared shirt for this, too.
That's the one thing I walked out. First thing I see is
I'm the only one with a tie on. I feel like I got to lose it here. We'll see.
All right. Well, if we're good, we'll get to that point. Okay, let's fire it up and get rolling. All right, let's start with this. The battle over movie pre-shows is heating up once again. A report from Deadline says AMC is quietly working to shorten its pre-show by the end of the year. This comes after AMC struck a big new deal to run extra national cinemedia spots and even posted that now infamous warning telling customers to allow 20 to 30 extra minutes before the movie starts. Studios weren't happy, saying fans are skipping trailers entirely, which, of course, they rely on to sell future films. A lot of people say that's exactly what they do. It gives them time to stand in the concession stand lines or be on time to watch the movie they paid for. Nothing more, nothing less. Eric, what do you think, like it or not?
Let's put this in perspective. The last time I was in a movie theater was for the Justin Bieber movie.
What?
So it's been a little while since I've been in a movie. It's been a long time. Prior to that was Titanic.
Hold on, time out.
Yeah.
You have daughters.
I do.
Just want to make sure it was for them, correct?
I'm a believer, okay? There's no shame in my game. But it's got to be old school, JB. I'm not down with the new stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my thing about the ads, right? You have a very captive audience. I'm cool with them putting the ads in the beginning. I mean, you have a captive audience sitting there. People complaining about it, especially now that you can, like, pick your seats. Not as big of a deal anymore, but that's a good advertisement for them. And they're making lots of revenue off of it, so knock yourself out.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. It's one of those weird quirks, not that I don't have many of those, but one of the ones I enjoy. I like seeing the trailers ahead of the movie. I'm disappointed if I get to it late so that I can't see the trailers. I'm not one that I keep up with what movies are coming out like ahead. So when I see a trailer and I'm like, oh my God, that movie looks cool, and then I'm suddenly following it from that point forward. So movie trailers still work for me, and I still enjoy them before a movie.
The movie trailers came in a time where you weren't able to watch anything on demand at home because you can go on to YouTube or anywhere and see these trailers. I mean, for a long time, you would go see a movie because you knew there was a trailer for something bigger coming down the pipeline. I, for one, paid to go see the movie The Dictator with Sacha Baron Cohen because I knew that they were going to have the trailer for Anchorman 2. Oh, that's what kind of cinephile I am. But that being said, the previews, do you live for them or not?
Yeah, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. By the way, I went to go see, I can't remember what movie it happened to be, but just to see the preview for Superman 3. It shows you how old I am. And I'm talking the first Superman. Yeah. So anyway, the pros, you get a chance to check out the new trailers. I actually enjoy that. I'm with you, Mike. You want to sit down, you want to find out what's happening. Not only that, but it's different when you see it on a bigger screen. I would also say the pros is I'm always late. And so, I don't want to walk in after the movie's actually started. And so as the it's great.
Big fan of the Alamo Drafthouse, too, because you can, Deja, I don't know have you been to an Alamo Drafthouse where you can, like, just order the food from your
that's actually
seats?
my list. I've been wanting to go.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely one that I time it out. I know I have a certain amount of time, and I'm always kind of like a little late. If I walk in and I'm seeing, like, Nicole Kidman up there, I'm like, oh, I'm perfect. I'm here on time. I can get comfortable. I'm good. I don't want to sit through all the trailers of that. I don't know. I don't really go to the movies like that in general, but I don't like the movies, and it might be, I don't like the previews, but it might be because when I was younger, my uncle wouldn't let us eat our popcorn or whatever we had until the movie started. So I feel like in my adulthood, I just get there when it starts.
Deja, by the way, tonight we're gonna rely on you because there's just so much testosterone
I
flowing
got
through
you.
this panel. So you
Pop
need
it
to
in.
rein us in if we get out of control. All right, we'll see you in a bit. In the meantime, every year in Finland, couples take on a wild wife-carrying race, sprinting through a 253-meter course. It's packed with obstacles and water while one partner literally hauls the other. The winner gets the wife's weight in beer. This has been going on since 1992. Now the event attracts racers from around the world and mixes athletic challenge, weird tradition, and pure fun into one competition. So, Mike, what do you think about this one?
No, I'd do this in a heartbeat. Now, it depends on the beer, of course, and she is not going to have a good time given how some of the wives are being carried there. But, I mean, look, it's all in good fun. Maybe not the safest thing in the world, but if you can get a good supply of nice quality Icy Light.
That's right. That's right.
Icy
Icy Light is the Natty Boh of Pittsburgh, I think, is the best way to describe it.
I love that they're wearing helmets. You know, there's just, if you didn't know anything about this,
you got to be careful.
If all you saw was that, it would really look like something not very good, the way they were placed, like upside down and backwards, like running through the. If you didn't know anything else other than that, and I love the shots, like in the crowd, there's like 7 people like holding up flags, like, yeah, go, like wear your helmet and don't drop somebody on their head. But it does look like fun, especially when they jump in the pool and you have someone's head like 2 inches from the concrete. So
Yeah.
it's like fun to me.
This is what I call relationship goals. I would do this, and not only that, it's leading up to the event that I would probably really enjoy because I'm very competitive. So you best believe we will practice and practice it. Yep, get back on, honey. Yep. But now it depends on what you ate earlier to make sure you don't do some extra correct some stuff you shouldn't be doing as you have her on your back and her head happens to be right in that area.
Bar before you,
That's it.
you carry
not a
the
good
wife
thing.
up. So yeah.
Well, hey, you and I used to carry Marina every day at 5 o'clock. So I mean, this is
My shoulders have been hurting for just the longest time.
see, the nice thing about her not being here tonight is you get free reign here. You know.
We need like a cardboard cutout of her so I can, hurl insults
I feel I have
at
to
it and it
stand up
can't
for
do it
her
back.
because I'm sitting in her seat.
They're big shoes to fill.
Yeah, you tell her.
All right, we're just days away from the Washington Spirit taking the pitch in back-to-back NWSL finals. Now we're learning this might be one of the best cities for them to be in. Wallet Hub ranking D.C. as the 9th best sports city in the country. The company taking into account football, basketball, hockey, soccer, all of them. D.C.'s individual highest rating was in soccer, of course.